It's legal. I'm sorry, but you know, can we just be cool?
Yeah, I mean, I think weed. I'm cool being discreet on. I can be discreet on weed, but fucking
Mhm.
if it's like psychedelics, that's another story. Um,
What what kind of visuals do you prefer, or like I don't know how to explain that because I've only had one real psychedelic experience that I pull from, but I'm curious to know more about how it evolves and stuff. But I don't
I'm
know.
not really the type of person that likes to see. I'm not trying to see God. I feel like
Oh
I'm a
yeah.
little old for that. So I usually like to keep it like between like 1.5 or 2 grams and just do some light shit and like color and like fucking go outside. Um, I don't know.
Yeah, nature.
I
It's that
like,
nature connection, right?
yeah. I like mushrooms. They're fun, but I think I probably like acid more just because it lasts longer and it's like fucking
Mm.
12 hours. You're like, I could live like this forever. Um, but it's also at the same time, it's like I don't want to feel like this ever again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But
You're
it's
just
like a
like,
nice duality. It's like fluctuating between like fucking terror and like sheer joy.
yeah. I
So
feel like that must be what it's like to like behold sort of the cosmos, but whole cosmic horror or something like that. You know, it's like seeing something that makes you feel so fleeting and like small, you know, puts you in point of fear, but also awe, you know.
yeah,
Um,
last time
yeah.
I was tripping, I just ended up fucking dancing in the room for like 4 hours straight, and I was like, I should do something else. Like I should get something
Mm.
else out of this trip. But I was like, I'm having fun, kind of. So we're gonna keep it rolling.
Dude, okay, those dance videos, like, I'm not a dancer. I cannot dance. I'm not a coordinated person in a way that looks like good dancing. The only dancing I do is like when I'm dancing with my kids because
Yeah,
they watch Bluey. And in Bluey, there's dancing. So like there's no avoiding the fact that I have to be the dad who also will do a crazy weird dance, you know.
yeah.
Um but like your dance videos, like you it's it's a cliche to call it like free spirited, but it's very like pure energy to me. You know what I mean? Like whenever I see them, I'm just like it lightens the mood. It makes me have a better day, and it's like genuine. It might sound corny or cheesy, but like that
Yeah, I mean,
seriously helps you.
they're just fun to post. I just like dancing. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I wouldn't say like it's really hard for me to do like choreographed routines. Like I'm not very good
Oh,
at that.
right.
I want to be good at it so I could start doing like K-pop dances and stuff like that. But it's really
Yeah,
hard for me. I think I just smoke too much weed that my memory is like honestly atrocious. So
just
I'll learn a
destroyed.
step.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll learn a step and then I'll forget it. It's so bad. I was talking on the podcast last night. I'll like watch a movie and then fucking like an hour later totally forget the plot. I'll be like, what happened in that movie?
Watch it again and
Yeah,
again.
that's what I was
Oh,
saying.
it's
Yeah, I'll
like a new
watch it
movie
like
every
fucking
time.
4 times in a week so I can remember
Oh
what.
man,
Yeah,
that's so funny. Wow. Okay. Yeah. 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 That's right. That's right.
yeah,
Um, dude, but like that's how I am with so many things. I'm like, I have like a handful of movies that I'm like, every year I eventually come around to this movie and I watch it once, maybe twice or something like that. But by now I've seen it like more than 2 dozen times or whatever. Like, and it's just things that you sort of like get the taste for, and you're like, I like this. It's like going back to like a favorite dish that you haven't made in a while. You know what I mean? It's like food is just entertainment for, you know, a different part of your mind and your
mm,
body, you know. But yeah, it's like you got to rotate those things in, and like watching old movies like that, it's nostalgia, but I constantly destroy them with my current like observations and like view of the world and everything. So I'm like
uh,
slowly shaving them off and like getting tired of a lot of them now. And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
You're gonna
like
have
I
to
can't
find some new
watching some of this
movies.
stuff anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've probably
Um,
seen the Sandlot about 150 times.
See, that was one of those movies that I feel like it was on during the like cable era, you know what I mean? And it was just constantly bouncing from channel to channel, and you could find it on at like almost any given time of day. You know, like
Yeah,
the Sandlot was just on a lot.
uh,
I saw that one a lot of times. The Forever just never left my brain. Like every time I've heard the word forever ever since seeing the Sandlot,
oh,
my brain closes
right.
down and hears
Yeah,
that line
fucking Babe
when the
Ruth.
guy's just good. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Lines just stick in my head, you know.
Yeah.
Um, So we were going to talk about some art stuff, and I keep finding myself, I'm looking over your shoulder at everything that's on the wall right now because, like, it's harder to see in those videos, and I feel like I'm getting, like, a little bit of a closer look of your gallery that's, like, over your shoulder.
Yeah,
um,
I need to get back into it.
yeah, it's hard to find the, like, the time, but also the motivation, to just, like, put something down sometimes for me. Like, I get, like, blocked, but not. It's not like a lack of ideas. It's a lack of just drive, like motivation.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean
Caffeine helps.
it's like easier to scroll Instagram in many ways for like an hour than like sit down and like draw art for an hour. Even though like I know I would be much happier and like spent my time better not scrolling Instagram but like drawing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um,
I'm recently trying to like get like for me, like I've been doing concept art for games for like the last 2 years straight on one project, and I've been drawing a lot of stuff that's samey, but for the sake of having like consistency, and it put me into like it's like a stone wheel turning, but there's like a divot in one spot that just keeps getting deeper. You know what I mean? And it
mm,
feels like something's hollowing out because you're just like sort of playing out flavors and color palettes and shapes and context and like being restricted by realism, especially like because it
yeah,
was like based in a post-apocalyptic
yeah,
setting, which I'm like, we're kind of living in that, and can we talk about something a little
yeah.
further
Let's do
from?
something more fantasy approached. Do you have
Yeah.
any like favorite mythical creatures to draw? Like favorite like monsters or
Oh man. I
beasts?
draw so I draw a lot of monsters. I draw a lot of the like classic monsters, but in silly ways and cartoony ways. Oh, there's my here we go. Okay. Um, I can I've got Photoshop open. I could share screen, I think, but I don't know how that would mess with your whole
No, it doesn't mess with
setup.
shit, dude. It's just fucking the Young Chuck podcast is a train that's always going off the rails. There are no rules or
Oh, I
regulations.
don't have to do that. I don't have to do that.
No,
But
let's
I was just
fucking
saying, if
go,
you want.
dude. Yeah, yeah. Whenever, if you got something that you
Okay,
want
let's
to
see.
show, bring it on up.
Well, I was just gonna say we can start drawing and stuff, but if you
Oh,
don't want,
hell
let's
yeah.
not jump into that right away unless you're ready to draw. I don't. You just your day is at a certain point, and I don't want to interrupt your flow, so I don't want
My
to
day is
assume
at the
what you
point where
want
I
to do.
literally just woke up and I got nothing on my docket. Like, I'm basically on summer break. I just have finals week next week. And
Oh, okay.
after that, I'm fucking good to go. And my finals already made. I just got to show up for an hour, 2 days this week, and then I'm fucking done. So, oh
Nice.
shit, dude. I think I put my coffee cup on my red crayon, and I got red crayon melted on my fucking.
Oh, wow, that's fun. Play with
Yeah, well,
that.
I'm going in.
Right.
Um,
Melted crayon, dude. You were talking about crayon as like a medium where you're like you can't get like consistency, but now you see it as like, but you get this really specific texture, and like I've been craving texture more because I've been working digitally and working like for realism and stuff like that, and it's like the textures we're doing are, it's not brush, it's not paint, it's not chalk, it's not crayon, you know what I mean? You get a lot more like variance that you can't control. It's chaos, and I love that because you just have to embrace it and work around and work with it, or
yeah,
else you're just going to sit there and just grind crayons to flat little
yeah.
nubs, trying to fill it in.
Yeah, I do love grinding crayons to flat. Well, I think one thing I've liked about crayons is like I think they allow me to be more colorful. Cause with paint, like I'm such a fucking lazy asshole that it'll like I like moan and groan about having to get up and clean my brushes and stuff, you know.
Oh
And like
yeah, for
it's
sure.
I don't want to work with too many colors because then it's like just more of a mess.
Right, right,
But with
right.
crayons, all you got to do is fucking pick them up and put them down. Um,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like markers can get. Oh, I clicked the button. Okay, sorry. It's a
no, no,
presenting thing.
good.
Is this cool?
Let her
Cool.
rip. Let's go.
Okay. To avoid an infinity mirror, don't share your entire screen browser. Okay. Yeah. Is it working? Cool.
Words to live by. And even if you do create an infinity loop, that sounds fun. That sounds like good content to me.
I love trying to see what happens and experimenting with that. Like I remember as a kid messing with like my grandma had like home video camcorder. It's like the first one in the family to get one and be like, look, it's not 1,000 pounds. You can just carry this.
Yeah.
Like film whenever. And now it's like quaint. It's like, yeah, we all kind of carry those phones around. You just have everything.
Yeah, it's like
And
you
it
have a
feels
fucking
so weird.
camcorder just in your pocket at all times that can like make
Yeah,
phone calls.
But I remember, I remember, like, of course you always go, well, what happens if I look at the TV, the monitor, or whatever, and you get that weird, you get like a blue screen because of the analog signal or something.
Yeah.
I never figured out why that was. I always wondered. Things that I draw the most are skulls because.
Yeah, the skeleton's like your mascot.
Yeah, for sure. And like it's this thing that just lives in my head, and I do variants of it, and it's it's one of those things that just I can't. Right now, I haven't shaken it, and it's just like it's humanity. It's everywhere. It's all the time. We're all walking around. We're all just skeletons trapped inside of meat suits, right? So
yeah. Have you ever seen there's a show on YouTube that I've been watching recently. It's called like Last Meals, and it's basically like Hot Ones, but instead the chef guy just like has celebrities on and talks about how we got one thing in common or two things in common. We all gotta eat and then we all gotta die, and then he just like makes all their favorite dishes and they have a nice conversation and usually like talk about death and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's
very real. Yeah, that sounds heavy, but like good heavy because it's like. It's good it sounds good for the soul, you know? Like
and they're getting to like eat all their favorite foods, and this guy's like a pro chef, so it's like they're really excited and happy because they get to eat like fucking, I don't know, like Thai curry or tiramisu or whatever the fuck all their favorite dishes.
Right? Just like the most decadent,
Yeah, they get to request it like a fucking 5-course meal as their like last meal.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And how do they choose these people? Because are they looking for participants? That sounds amazing.
Dude, I feel like podcasts need to open up the scene to just like normal people, like or just like people that aren't famous, like, and just have conversations with everyone.
Right.
But yeah, this guy's mainly fucking interviewing he interviewed some like pro wrestlers recently. He interviewed Gordon Ramsay recently and like Steve-O and shit. So I don't know. They need to hit our emails though, for sure.
Yeah. I want to get a start. Now I'm going to start thinking about what that would be, what that would look like for me as far as what meal, like what I would choose, and now I can't focus on anything else but food. But so drawing stuff you're talking about, I remember you mentioned something about I think it was like the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Proportions. You're talking about things getting out of whack with that, and like relatable. That's like such a human eye fighting the human brain, and everything else just like distorts. Things distort as you're creating, and it's like one of those things that I always had problems with, but I'm always trying to work on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, if you're happy with the way your product looks, it's like you shouldn't really have to like learn, or it's like maybe you should, but like you don't have to. Like I don't know, it's just never really been my style. Like spend time to like get things exact. I sort of like the like fantasy of things looking fucked up.
Oh yeah, it feels way more like organic. So you were talking about and it's like, God, I do that with line. Like, I use things that help the curve. Like, this is not organic. I'm gonna be straightforward and honest with you. This is the secret of my success. No, I don't have one. But this is just a thing I use for doing cartoonish stuff, where I need like smooth lines. And this is literally just. It interprets what I'm doing. It gives you like slight line correction, but all it really fixes, and you're gonna see this, and you're gonna be like, oh, this is the main reason I have it. This. Do you see this little tiny nook of a tail here?
Oh yeah, I see it. It's like fucking eyeshadow. Booyah.
Yeah, but look at this. See that weird stop, that square edge?
Now
I turn this on, and it becomes this like nice.
Yeah, it's like an eyebrow.
Consistent. Yeah, you get a better taper and stuff on the pressure, and like that was the first problem I ran into with digital art, was just the way that your hand gesture translates on the little, from a tablet pen all the way down to the digital, the pixels, everything else. The pressure and stuff, and like unless you have a super expensive setup, you're gonna have issues with your line pressure. I guess. I wish that wasn't the case, but I blame the manufacturer. It's got to be.
Yeah,
I won't
fuck the
name them.
manufacturer, dude. Definitely his fault.
Damn the man.
Yeah, fuck it. Fuck the dude. Can't trust him.
But we were talking. You asked me favorite creatures to draw, and it's for me. It's by far mimics because I like how much you can play with the trope of a treasure chest that is a mouth that comes to life. It's one of those fun little things from D&D, the D&D universe that.
Have you ever read any Terry Pratchett books?
No, I've seen stuff based on Terry Pratchett in film, but I can't name anything. I don't
his
remember,
Discworld.
but I know I'm aware of Terry Pratchett.
His Discworld series has features a treasure chest with a mouth and many legs. It's I think it's probably one of my favorite books, or my favorite book series. All those books that I've read in that series are so fucking funny and cool. Definitely treasure chest with a mouth is. I wouldn't want to open that treasure chest. I'd leave that one closed.
Right. It's fun because like you can play with, is it wood? Does it have, the classic little like banding of iron and rivets or whatever, or do you want to like make it like a fancy little jewelry box, whatever, and like things like that, and objects like potions. I draw a lot of potions when I'm just sketching and doodling, just because I like playing with, just circular shapes and swirls and liquid moving and stuff. Just like it gives you an excuse to move your hand around like fluidly, when you're doodling and sketching that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel like a mad scientist if I was drawing potions and stuff. I feel like I would be like feeling like I was the one creating the potions, like a witch.
I love it. It's one of those things where, fantasy stories really make it seem like, man, life could be so easy. I could just have a cottage out in the woods. I could make potions, people would come buy my potions. What am I thinking? But then you look at like the store shelves and you're like, well, I need my hair potion and I need my mouthwash potion and I need my
potions are all around us. I got a friend and she's always talking about potions and how she needs her potions, and it's all like skincare stuff and like you were saying, like hair potion. So I like that. That's definitely fun. It makes real life more fun. I think I was saying last night, I think it would be fun if the world was more like a fantasy or an anime or just more fantastical. But it would also be scary, you'd be getting trampled to death by giants, you'd have all sorts of things to worry about. But I feel like I would live without regret more if I was in such a realm.
Well, that's more, and that's one of those things where you're like, well, if life and death was constantly, like right outside the door, trying to bite me when I reach into my, what I think is my like dirty clothes hamper, and it's a fucking mimic and bites my fucking arm off. Like, doesn't sound super like sweet as a place to just live a normal life, but it's really exciting. So you're like, well, either that or I die. So I guess I'm an adventurer now because I have to fight monsters every single day of my life. But and like doing the like tongue, because like everyone loves a gross spirally tongue, right?
Yeah,
that's just typical tropey shit we all know and love. You'll notice I am a cheater because I live with my thumb on the fucking undo button. Sorry to.
Oh no, definitely not.
No,
give away the secret, man.
It gets annoying to people when they watch me do it.
I've never really tried any digital art or like digital drawing. I would love to get into it one day, but.
So I recommend it. I don't recommend using the exact product I'm using right now because I'm not endorsed by them in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, fuck them, dude.
Endorse anything Adobe or any other company does.
I'm never using Adobe again. Honestly, fuck Adobe.
For
I
real.
had
It's they just
Photoshop for a
bleed.
second. I had Photoshop for a while, and I got sick of paying fucking $20 every month. I'm like, you know what? Fuck y'all.
So yeah, and I'm in a unique situation where I use four tools very frequently in Adobe's like palette of stuff that they have
Mhm.
accessible, and to get those four things,
Mhm.
I have to pay for I think it's somewhere like 13 or 14 different programs
Oh
that
my
are all
god.
bundled in three clusters, and I have to pay for all three clusters of bundles just to have access to like two are in one of them, or two are in like the big one that comes with two. It's confusing, and then there's like two add-ons that I have to do individually, and it's so expensive for
It's
what it
insane.
is.
Yeah.
It's so expensive, and it's like yeah, but industry standard and da 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 da, this and that excuses for like the industry that I'm working in. But
Yeah.
it's just pickiness is what it comes down to. But it's an expensive thing to manage. Doing like graphic design as well as illustration, and doing some animation stuff, and doing 3D now, and like getting
Mhm.
into like Blender and stuff like that. Which I've always been a 2D artist. I've always been very like I draw things in 3D. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I definitely don't work with like 3D models, and I didn't do that for a long time. But now I'm just doing it to learn it because I have the time, I have the opportunity.
Hell yeah, man.
Blender's
I'm
free.
excited.
Blender's free.
I'm excited to see
Blender.
the 3D animation. That sounds really cool. I'm sure it'll look awesome.
I'm just I'm gonna try to play with some of the stuff that I've already put together, but I don't know how. It's just
Yeah, you'll figure it
it's
out,
like
especially if you're
little
just
things.
getting into it. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, I just gotta focus up, and that's where things
Yeah.
struggle. The other thing I love about mimics, by the way, one of my favorite things is just the weird eyes, because they have this like spider eye situation. Very commonly, they're portrayed as.
Yeah.
But you can play with it. You can give it no eyes. You can make it just a mouth, But there's always just so much that you can play with, and I'm gonna have to align this stuff. See,
So,
I'm very hacky here. Um,
what's your current D&D character build like? You know,
ooh,
what's his
yeah,
background? What's the laydown?
it's it's too much. It's
Oh
like,
shit.
but I only wrote like one page, but as soon as we started playing it, like it evolves, and you're like, oh shit, now there's layers going on.
Yeah, you got
People are
like a
adding
fully
on to
fleshed
it,
fucking character. You
Yeah.
could write like
It's I have a death cleric, which is very like sort of cliche, and he's got a warlock twist. I'm just like using the warlock thing specifically as like a role play element.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has a cursed item,
Oh.
and I just decided that like I told the DM he has a cursed item that does this. He's like, what? Like I was like, he doesn't know really what it does.
Yeah.
But you and I will know that when this situation comes up, there's going to be some dice rolled, and there's going to be some consequences. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
Yeah, and it's just me giving. There was this concept on I think it was on Reddit that I found it, but someone said daggers. You give your game master or dungeon master or whatever, you give them daggers to stab you with later as your character, where you're
Mhm.
like, here, I have loved ones. Here, I have friends. Here, I
Yeah.
have a history with this character. Please don't kill or put any of them in peril, because I'll have to be,
Yeah, it's like
going after
I'm
them
not
and
trying to
saving them.
die. You know, I got people to
Yeah.
protect.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like the classic, like, it's almost like being a superhero with a secret identity. You're like, please don't find my loved ones. Leave me alone. Yeah, and it's just hard to avoid putting the ones you love in peril because you're an adventurer.
Yeah.
And that would be one of those things that having to fight monsters every day would be exhausting. It would become very exhausting
Yeah,
very quickly, I think.
definitely.
But it'd be funny to be complaining about like, dude, did you see that? Did you see that fucking troll on, like take a dump on Mount Rushmore? Did you? It was
Well, actually,
hilarious. It was
fuck Mount
hilarious,
Rushmore, dude. I would take a
but
dump on Mount
weird,
Rushmore if I were a troll.
right? It's like, thanks for building like a series of porta potties that are
Yeah.
built into a mountain right here. Anyway. But yeah, so this death cleric dude, his name is Nornavol,
Mm-hmm.
which is from a generator.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't make that up. But it was such a mouthful and it's so weird to say that I thought it was funny to make other people say it.
Yeah.
but they just call him Nori now because they got lazy,
Yeah.
and I don't blame them. But I basically modeled out him after Vivi from Final
Oh, hell
Fantasy
yeah.
9 or 10. I can't remember which it was. 9, right? Because 10 is the one with where it got very K-pop. You know.
Yeah. And
Yes.
Vivi appears briefly in Kingdom Hearts 2 as well. So for those of those,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Nice.
in the
Okay.
beginning. For those who haven't played Final Fantasy 9 but have played Kingdom Hearts 2, you can find Vivi in the
Nice.
beginning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is one of those series that I loved. I love the art style. I only ever played through to the end, the very first one. But Kingdom Hearts 2, I kept seeing. I think I was working at a game store
Mhm.
uh, at the time, who I can't mention for legal reasons. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. But like there was so much art from it, and like so many swag items. We had so many T-shirts and sweaters and backpacks and all this stuff, and like they're like, this is for people who pre-order, incentivize this to sell, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
When it was first coming out, and it was insane how quickly that stuff dried up. It just vanished, and we were like, oh my god, that's so weird. Like, I didn't realize we got that many pre-orders, and it was like people were stealing.
Oh
People were
shit,
snagging
dude.
it.
But yeah, hell yeah.
You're lifting them. They're like, oh well, I'm on the way home, guys. I'm gonna go out the back door because of no reason. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scary.
I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. Gotta have my Sora sweatshirt. Um, yeah, I've never really been much of a stealer. Not really my style, but
Yeah.
I guess more power to them if they got what they wanted.
Yeah, I didn't. To be fair, I didn't because again, I like Kingdom Hearts, but I wasn't a. There's a reason that. Well, it's a long story.
Yeah.
I ended up being the only person working at that store
Oh shit, dude.
for a brief period of
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Because of that. But anyway, so that should clarify some things legally.
Right.
But
You're
anyway,
free from any legal repercussions on this stream.
right. Anything you say is I'm under the influence anyway, so it's not admissible.
And everything that has been said has been done for educational and documentary purposes.
Oh
So,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This is about education.
Yeah. And documentaries.
And documentaries. Yeah, we're documenting. We're documenting. There you go. We're documenting.
Yeah.
The slow crawl of time.
So true.
Right?
So you got any favorite games or anything like that?
So I got stuck on this horrible shooter game, Apex Legends, and it's a love-hate, mostly hate, but also I don't have any other games that I'm into. Overwatch was the thing I was into for quite a while when it was the first one, and then the second one came out, and there was a shift, there was a change in how it played, and it felt very samey, but also so different that it felt almost alienating, and I just kind of bailed out of it because I didn't have any friends who were playing it and know anybody personally who was playing it. And then I got into Apex Legends while I was working for the publisher of that game at the time, and it was just bad timing because but I played that a lot. I played too much of that, but now it helps to have a small community of people, of adults, form of mature adults who can get along and just play a game together and not make problems for each other or get personal about anything negative. But yeah, I play that game a lot, and it's winding down. I'm getting sick of it, and there's more whimsical, fun stuff instead of running around and shoot each other with toy guns. Basically, it's what it feels like. It's very arcadey now.
I've never played any of those games. Overwatch, Apex Legends, Fortnite, anything like that. But I've heard good things about all of them.
They have there's a reason so many people play these things. You know what I mean? Like, you can't deny that. And it's fun, but also man, like it's like I said, it's a love-hate relationship because you at times when things are going poorly with either the development or like changes or balancing or whatever with games like that are competitive, it can feel like a slog and it can feel very tiring, but you're like, should I quit the game? Like I've already invested so much time in the skill and the understanding, and I do find it fun when things go well, but I've just been losing and problems and bugs and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like you keep coming back to it because it's still fun. Even when it's not fun, it can be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
At times.
If I'm playing by myself, I really don't like. If I'm playing someone else, I'm happy losing as much as I need to lose. If I'm playing alone, I ain't trying to lose shit, dude. Like, it's like as a kid, I would play Madden and I would just play on the lowest difficulty so I could score like fucking 20 touchdowns, and the other team would get like fucking 3 points or whatever.
Like, your field goal means nothing.
Yeah, it's like I'd be fucking crushing them like fucking 92-3. It's like create characters with like maxed out stats that are just like on the top of every like award list. It's like that's what I want.
I love that making custom characters that are like way buffed. So you're like, I'm just gonna max out all the stats.
Yeah.
You, like I bought the points or whatever it is, not like with real money, hopefully.
Yeah. I haven't really the last generation of systems I played was PS4. And I only played it once. I only played the PS4 once. So I'm like, I sort of never really fully experienced like the pay to play era. Like I did a little bit of like downloading DLCs on PS3, but like I feel like it's gotten only worse over time. So thankfully I've missed out on a lot.
It's yeah. It feels like a lawless wasteland of just. It's like the way that I heard it put. It wasn't. These are not my words, but I cannot remember who told me. When I was working at a company of whatever significance, but they said pop-up ads have taken over. Essentially, everything is give money now, please. Give money now, please.
Yeah.
You want more chips. You want more this. You want more that. You want more whatever coins. You need to buy fake currency with real money. Do it. Just do it now. Do it. And it feels like you're at a casino, and everything is a casino. And that was a driving creative direction for a company that I worked for a while. And I was like, I can't do this. This is this is soul crushing.
Nice, man. Good for you.
It's a hard sell. The hard sell all the time is exhausting.
Yeah, and I hate being a salesman. It's like I don't like telling people what to buy or what to do or what to think or like. It's hard for me to even like do much marketing myself because it's like I like at the end of the day it's like people are gonna like and enjoy what they want to enjoy and like they'll find whatever it is they need to find. They don't need me in their ear being like buy this, do this.
Yeah. It's like it's exhausting when someone is trying to ask you what you want out of something or like from somewhere, and they just keep suggesting. Even though you're like, no, that's not it, or like, I don't feel like that or whatever, and it feels like rushing you, and like, can we just, it's like, I guess it's just trying to get as much out of as little time as they have to just keep your attention,
Yeah. Here in fucking Thailand, if you go out to eat, they'll just like give you the menu and then just stand there and like be like, okay, like what do you want? So I'm always like fucking deciding what I want in like 3 seconds. And usually I can't read the menu, so I just point to random shit. I'll be like, I'll try this and that.
Yeah.
I haven't really.
I feel like that's very wild card of you.
I mean, I like most foods. There's really only a few that I don't like, and that they're not really big over here.
How's your capsaicin tolerance doing since you've been in Thailand? By the way,
I really like spicy foods, and I like spicy foods before coming over, so I'm lucky in that regard.
There you go. That makes sense.
Nice. I was like a vegan before I came out here, though. I would only eat beans and rice basically, and like lentils and like bananas. But there's no fucking way I'm gonna be a vegan out here. There's like seafood and shit everywhere. Yeah, like maybe it's just the region that I'm in, like northeast Thailand. It's like the Isan region, and I think like food is a big part of that culture. But there's like tons of like pork. It's like very pork heavy.
Oh, okay, pork heavy.
Yeah, there's like
That
a lot of
means
seafood and chicken and stuff too, but like pork is the number one. And I definitely try not to eat pork every night, but
well,
it's
I
like
mean,
their most fucking popular dish, so I definitely be eating more pork than I should.
right, and but it's hard to avoid if that's like, well, the region literally is dependent on this product, right? Yeah, it's like it's the same. Well, it's well, maybe not the same, but it's a relative in a certain way. And like living in a city in America here, uh, it's you run into food deserts. You run into areas where the only food available is what's available, and like within your walking distance, there's like hardly anything or nothing. And then you have to, everything's driving distance away from where you live, so that you have to have a car. And
Yeah,
so you have to, and it just builds off of that. And you're left with, okay, my grocery store doesn't have these things, or rarely has good quality versions of these things. Um, and it restricts your diet, severely. But I feel like with pork, like as a basis, like that's risky, right? Because isn't pork like a very,
it's
I
like
don't
an
know,
unhealthy. It's like basically the most unhealthy
like
meat you can
white
eat.
meat, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah. The
Um,
other white meat was the old slogan then. But it's hard to avoid, right? Um, Running into those situations where like your region dictates your diet.
yeah. I'm sure I'll be able to bounce back. You know, I think like if you're exercising, you can probably get away with a little bit more. But
Are you a gym rat these days, or are you just relying on your natural ability to have an insane amount of like super super energy? Like I don't know where it comes from with you, dude. Like I see you your videos. It's like, didn't he just post a thing where he's like getting off of work, end of the day, and then he's just dancing his ass
yeah,
off?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just
and I'm like,
I
hell yeah,
like
dude.
doing it.
Okay.
Like if I didn't like dancing, I wouldn't fucking do it. But it's just like fun. It's like
Yeah,
my favorite hobby, I would say. So,
yeah.
um,
It keeps you fit. It's a good way to. It's a good way to stay in shape.
yeah.
But yeah.
I like the gym. I've only really been a few times since I've been here. I have a membership, but I haven't gone. I was saying last night it's because my arch nemesis also goes to the same gym, and I don't want to see him there.
Who's your? You have an arch nemesis? That's so like beyond cool. As far
Uh,
as like,
yeah, I mean
as a
it's
comic
very
fan.
unlike me to dislike people, and he's not really my arch nemesis. I'm mainly joking, but he got all judgy with me one night
Oh, okay.
for I told him we had to like take the bus to Lao to get visas and shit like that,
Right.
our visa extension, and he was like, I was like, oh yeah, I was just like at home like smoking weed and shit, and he's like, how long you been doing that? And I was like, I don't know, like fucking 12 years or some shit. And he's like,
Yeah, looking
you
back.
still think that's fun? Like you're still doing that stuff? And I was like,
What?
dude, fuck you. Like I
Uh,
make my money. Like
are you
you're,
still taking vitamins or eating food that is bad for you ever?
yeah. I'm like, what are you
Yeah.
fucking
Like,
what have you never scrolled Instagram in your life? Like, oh, you're still doing that?
are you still doing that?
Yeah.
You're still on Facebook? No, I'm just kidding. Uh, that kind of thing. But it comes up like that. But that's weird. And it's just he just got judgy, and now he's your nemesis.
Yeah. So, and it's like, you know what, fuck you. And then we went to Lao together, and he was like cutting people in line and ditching us and just being
What?
a douche, dude. And I was like, all right, fuck this
Okay,
guy.
don't. That's just bad form. Cause like, how do you, for lack of a better term, because like, how do you go somewhere with someone and then act like a dick to the public while they're like forced to be with you as like we are together. We are two people who are
And
like in travel together, right?
yeah, it was
Just
us and
make it me.
a couple people, and I was like, I was the one that was like, hey man, like I know we all have to do this together. Like, do you want to roll with me and my friend? Like, we have to go too. It'll probably be easier for all of us if we're all together. And he's like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And then he's fucking every
Yeah.
chance he gets, he's ditching us, even though we're probably making his life way easier. So I was like, you know what,
Oh man.
fuck this dude.
Sh- what a fucking yeah. Yeah, that's some people.
But he
I
goes to the
guess.
same gym, and I don't want to see him there. It wouldn't, I don't have anything. I would be totally cool with the guy. I don't really give a fuck. It's not like my
Yeah, yeah,
ego
yeah,
is that fragile,
yeah.
but
But it
yeah,
definitely it's an excuse to not go and like, and I'm not like criticizing you saying that. I mean,
yeah,
genuinely, sometimes you're. I mean, it's the gym. To be fair,
yeah,
my mind definitely finds excuses not to go to the gym. So,
yeah,
because I'm just a lazy oaf of a person. But I enjoy chilling out. So,
yeah. Chilling is
um,
great.
and like, if you are going to go to the gym, you should have the right to have an experience that is relaxing, at least
Yeah,
for
I don't
what
want
it
to have to
is.
fucking look at his ass. He's gonna be like,
Literally or figuratively, for that matter.
yeah, he's gonna be
Um,
fucking quoting Bible verses at me and shit, and he's gonna be like, "You smoke
oh,
weed."
oh, did it go that direction? That's even worse to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
wanna, I don't wanna
I
gossip
yeah, I
about.
just it's more proselytizing as a practice. That's I feel like is bad form. It has nothing to do with any specific group in any way, shape, or form. Because
Yeah,
there are some people who do it and some people who don't.
yeah.
Um. So yeah,
It's all love
there's things.
though. Yeah, I'll probably be going to the gym. The company asked him to leave, so he's going out of town. So
Oh, no way.
yeah.
Okay. So they were. Oh yeah, you were saying that they were basically part of the. So is it? Do you work for the school or do you work for a company that is basically?
I got hired by a company that like put me in at a school, and they have like a bunch of different
Yeah.
school
Okay.
connections around Thailand. They have like
Gotcha.
56
Gotcha.
different schools that they like have a
Do you know
hand in
how
employing.
many schools there are that they like? Is it basically every school in like whatever region or something like that, or like county?
No, it's like all over the country. I would say they probably maybe have like 50 something schools
Oh,
that they're
nice. Wow.
connected
Okay,
to.
that's a big pool. So
Yeah.
like,
So, um,
and you were trying. You said that you were initially, not to bring it up in a negative way, but you were initially trying to go to what was it, South Korea or?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was initially trying to go to South Korea, but I can't go because I got arrested when I was 19 for underage drinking and possession of marijuana. Um,
Oh,
and in
Jesus.
order to get a South Korean visa,
In there.
you have to have a completely clean criminal record.
Oh, wow. That's very yeah. Like, dude, I don't know. Background checks. There's a lot of questionable stuff about that.
Yeah,
But that's tough, and it's because of education, right? It's because of the context. I would
yeah,
assume,
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like if they have to treat every single like instance or case as being unique and like review it and everything, it's a long process. It's a lot of resources or whatever. So they're just like, well, let's just draw the line here and say you can't do it because
yeah,
X, Y, Z.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they are the strictest country about like getting education visas. I think any other country that I wanted
Interesting.
to teach in would be more chill. Maybe Japan would be a little bit hard, but they would at least give me the benefit of the doubt. Whereas South Korea is an automatic no. It only came as a surprise to me because like I had gotten my case expunged. Um,
Right. Right. Right.
and
Right.
like I went through the process of doing that. So and when I like applied for the background check and got it back and it like showed my criminal history, I was like surprised. I was like, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. That seems highly. I mean, it's unfortunate, but like not suspicious, but it's like, well, then what did I go through all the
yeah, it's
trouble
like
of getting this done for?
why did I bother with that shit?
Right.
For
It's
sure.
like, did somebody mess up somewhere and forget to like delete a file on a server? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here?
And really, honestly, I think that's probably what happened. Like, like it's not an automatic guarantee if after your shit gets expunged, it gets wiped from the criminal database. And I guess also my shit happened at a time when they were in the process of like turning all their archives into like physical to digital. Um,
Oh wow. Okay.
so I think more things probably like I don't know slipped under the radar. I don't. It's fine. Like
It
things.
very well could be, yeah. And that's one of those things. It's like it's so easy for new things to show up in that, but it's so hard to get them out with that. And it's not fair, you know? Like how is a person supposed to, I don't know, live? Like go rent somewhere or buy a place to live, you know, if they're going to get denied working a job in said place where they were going to or something like that, you know,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's whatever. Thailand has been fun. Honestly, like, uh, Korea probably would have been great because maybe I could have collabed with BTS. But
Oh yeah, okay.
that would have been sweet.
Yeah.
But they're in the military right now anyway, so
True, it's not like they're touring,
yeah,
so you're not
their hands will be tied till
not messing up.
2025. So I
Yeah.
got some
Ooh,
time.
really? Wow,
Yeah,
that's okay.
it's mandatory 18 months for all able-bodied Korean men to serve.
Gotcha.
And the
Interesting.
oldest one has been there for like I don't know like he went like 150 days before all the other members, so he'll be out soon. But all the
Oh
other
wow.
ones they just went in like a couple months ago, like a month or two ago.
Ooh, it's that recent? I didn't realize that. I thought
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
recent.
They like split up for a year to work on solo projects and shit like that, and do like solo shit
Oh,
before um, joining the military, and then they're gonna get back together as a band when they come out. So I'm hyped.
mm,
I'm fucking for it.
nice. And so they all have just a little bit of like solo stuff to keep them afloat, as it were, like individually, in case anything. Not that anything would ever fucking happen. Obviously, they got plot armor. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In real
yeah,
life.
yeah. No, they're good.
Ooh, look at that. Yes. See, look at that natural, vibrant color, and like, dude, let me see those eyes real quick. The eyes.
Which one?
Okay, all of them, because I like. What were you? What's the black that you have here on the left?
This
Mine
one?
left. I don't know if it's your right.
Yeah, yeah.
Other side. Well,
Oh,
either
this one.
either.
This one is paint. This one is like just
Yeah.
a
Okay.
splotch of paint, and then these ones over here are marker.
Dude, I love that. I love that monster. And like you've got, so you you have a way of being non-restricted with yourself and being a person who works all the time in realism, or I go for cartoonish.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was mostly inspired by like honestly growing up skateboard decks,
Oh, hell yeah.
screen printed stuff, and like t-shirt designs and stuff in the skate industry. That left a big imprint, and that's why I draw in like big bold black ink and stuff like that a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, look at that. The leopard, the illegal leopard. No, the leopard in here. It's
Um,
dangerous. Um,
we were talking earlier. You were saying you wish you had a chance to design like arcade cabinets.
Oh,
Would you
yeah.
say that you've had like a coolest thing that you've painted on, or like a coolest uh,
Oh, okay. I've
whatever you
done.
call it?
Oh God, I've done a few. I did a handful of graffiti murals
Mhm.
that basically didn't last because they were like the whole reason they allowed the murals to be made or like put up was because they had plans to paint anyway in like a year.
Mhm.
So like, and I have a handful of pictures and they're like lost on a thing. That was brief, but yeah, it was gosh, I don't know. I don't have like a crazy I've been working in small format for such a long time because like
Yeah.
I started wanting to do comics, and I was analog for such a long time, and like I like printmaking, and I like it's very rudimentary, but yeah, no, I I painted a motorcycle helmet for a friend of mine.
Oh, nice.
um that was brief. It was just rattle can work, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like I'm not a graffiti artist. Like I admire graffiti artists a lot, but I never got to in I never got to do anything big that stuck, you know.
Yeah.
Um like even the mural that I did, it was just like logo work, you know what I mean? It was stencil work and stuff like that. It's nothing crazy. Um yeah, I would love to do. I used to take photos. I lived in downtown LA. Took a bunch of photos of buildings where I was like, if I could do a huge mural, here's what I would paint there. And my intention was to bring it into like Photoshop and start
Mm.
painting over it, like as if I was doing that.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna. I haven't done anything
Yeah, that
big like
sounds like
that.
a
I
big
really
ass
want
time
to. That would be
commitment.
fun. I love when people get to do a whole like side of a building, just a full flat, big section of something, and they can do whatever they want. And like, there's a handful of artists who do these really beautiful like it looks like giants chilling among the buildings in the city and stuff like that, and they're just like squat, like in an
Mhm.
alleyway, just
Mhm.
chilling.
Mhm.
Oh man, I love seeing stuff like that coming around the corner. When you're like driving through the city or something like that.
You ever play Rampage?
Oh man,
That's
hell
a good
yeah!
one
I
for.
played Rampage. Here's how old I am. I played Rampage on a Nintendo, I believe, NES,
Mm.
in a van, and that sounds weird and creepy, but in one of those like Astro vans that had like the TV built into the
Mm.
center console thing in the
Mhm.
back seat, in like my great grandma's van, I played Rampage, and she's like, "What did you set up on this TV?" I was like, "My Nintendo," and she's like, "Is it gonna hurt anything or break anything?" And I was like, "Shouldn't. It's just a TV, right?" And she's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Cool. I'll be back here playing Rampage
Yeah.
while we're
Yeah.
driving."
Yeah. I remember back
Is it
in
you?
my family's minivan, maybe like 2000, 2000, 2003. We had a Ford Windstar with a TV in the back, and we would like whenever we went on vacation, we would like plug in the GameCube and shit like that, and just fucking play
Dude,
GameCube in the back
yes.
seat.
What was your favorite GameCube game, though?
I really
In that
like
situation or otherwise,
I
just
really like SSX Tricky. It's a snowboarding
dude.
game.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. Yeah, that's classic.
I like
Did you ever play
Pokemon
Cool
Coliseum.
Borders 2 or Cool Borders
Uh
series?
uh.
That was on PlayStation. Okay, Cool Borders 2. Here's how I knew. Here's one example, one of many examples how I can't ever deny myself the fact that I am an artist at heart.
Mhm.
Is anytime there's a creator for anything, I get carried away with in a game.
Mm.
Character creator, customization of like icons or avatars or whatever.
Mhm.
I spend way too much time in it. And Cool Borders had like a thing where you could make your own board designs, and it was literally just a pixel grid in the shape of a snowboard, and they just give you a full palette, and it was just pixel art, and I was like, yes, I can dump hours and hours into this and
Yeah,
just
that's
make
fun, man.
all kinds of crazy stuff. But I would just make like theme stuff, and I was trying to replicate like other snowboards that already exist, and
Mhm.
like skateboard stuff and that kind of skate culture, heavy black ink on top of bright, vibrant colors.
Yeah.
I love that.
Did you
It's
ever
fun.
skate or snowboard yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I skated, but I was a big wimp, man. I didn't learn to do much of anything. Like the tricks, air quotes, that I could do. I could ollie, I could manual, I can do any like half cab and little things just to maneuver.
Yeah.
Kickflip once in a while.
Oh
Like a
yeah.
handful of times I've ever really successfully landed a kickflip without trying for like hours. Um, when it counts. But
Yeah.
like ollieing and going up and down curves, I I skated for travel because
Mhm.
I couldn't afford a bike,
Mhm.
and skating was cooler,
Yeah.
but it was so much more work. So like my legs got really strong for a
Mm.
while
Mhm.
from skating around everywhere, and then that was all street boards, you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
the classic double tail, and then I discovered the cruising on a longboard experience and surfing on pavement, and I was like, this is cool. So
Yeah, I could definitely
I just
picture
want
you on a longboard for sure.
to play around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I get to take my kids out, and come here, we can both stand on this thing. Let's
Yeah.
go. And we're just like in a parking lot just doing circles and stuff, and like
Hell yeah.
they're like, this is amazing. I'm like, this is the chillest skating, the most relaxed on my legs that I can possibly do because dad's getting old.
Yeah.
No, it's
Dude.
tough, man.
Getting
The
old.
over 30s
Getting old
pushing up
sucks,
and
man.
down.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit 30 in August, so yeah.
You're a baby, you're a child, you're fine.
Yeah, I don't
You have
know,
your whole
man.
life ready.
I'm fucking, you know, it's 30 is, what happened the last fucking 12 years of my life, dude?
And like I could tell you, in my case, I can tell you, and it's all work. Just
Yeah.
work, man. Like
Yeah.
so much office work, like working for game companies and stuff, and like software companies and startups and all that stuff in the tech industry. Because I was in the Bay Area in California, and it's just tech. Everything was tech. So it's like offices, all day long, man. Every variation. And I like, you blink and you look up and you're like, wait, I did this job. I'm like renewing my, updating resume and stuff every time I need to, like, everything's contracts.
Yeah.
Every like 1 year, 3 year, 3
Yeah,
month, 6
contracted
month.
killer, eh?
It's like you're a freelancer, man. You're
Yeah.
like just trying to bounce around and find something
Is that a lot of work that you have to like take home, would you say, or is it like when you're office you work and when you're at home you
well,
can relax?
it depends.
Yeah.
I did production work for like software, which is like you are the schedule keeper ipso facto.
Yeah.
Every delay is you messing up. You know what I mean?
Oh fuck.
Technically, it's
Yeah.
and that's when you're on the hook. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You don't go home. You go to sleep and then you wake up to the sound of what's the next email thing, meeting, whatever. I worked with like companies that were like in 7 different time zones at one point. It's just always. Sorry, my partner's talking to me. Yeah. Show this man. This is my partner who's customizing boots. Hold on.
Yo, what up?
Hold those boots up. Hold on. Check out these boots. You're gonna love this.
Holy
Just step
shit.
on there. Yeah, we're all in our
Yeah,
pajamas.
we're all in our
okay? He just woke
pajamas.
up.
Yeah.
He just woke up
Yeah.
and drew a dope picture, by the way. Gotta say.
Wow,
Show
those
that
boots are
poster.
awesome.
You need light over here. There's a camera right there. It's got eyeballs.
Yeah.
These were my just regular kicking around boots, and they just got like scuffed up and stuff, and like
Ooh,
I don't know.
focus. There you go.
I
We got mimic
love
boots
the
on
fucking
almost.
color
Yeah,
scheme,
they-
like the
They
black.
needed some work, and I like to like fix stuff, but I don't really like. I keep thinking it's over here.
It's over here. Yeah.
I like to fix things, but I don't like to follow anybody's fucking rules. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah, fuck the rules.
Freedom of art. Fuck the rules.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I made fresh laces because I was like, I need some new shoelaces, but I don't want something that's been like, made by the hands of enslaved children or
Yeah,
like just
right.
exploited workers in general. And like, good luck with that. So I'm like, okay, I'll make them my fucking self.
Honestly, I think that's one of my favorite
So I
features
just
of the
wrote-
shoe too.
and I
Like
You keep trying to talk, and you keep talking.
I talk. It's my fault, really.
It's been so long. I've been working on this for like 6 months.
Yeah, it's finally done. I love them.
I-
They're like Frankenstein mimic, fucking insane. I love it.
Yes, thank you so
I
much.
think
So
um
cool.
I think the green and the black and the purple look so good together. It's like, and the
Green
laces,
and
like
purple,
the
black.
laces bring it
Looks
all
so good
together.
Thank you.
And the laces bring it all together. For
Yeah.
real. Because
Yeah.
like just black laces, it just disappears and you just lose it.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
the thought of putting regular
It's very Halloween,
shoelaces
and I want it.
back on these after like adding the eyeballs and everything, it just kind of felt like
Low key,
abomination.
too
It felt like
mid.
a waste of opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They honestly
you.
look good.
Thank
Have
you.
you worn them? Have you worn them out in public
Have you
yet?
worn them out in public yet? No, you just finished them right now.
I
Just right now.
laced them up.
Oh hell yeah! Nice.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Go
We're all
fuck-
making art right now.
Yeah,
And I love that there's a universal thread. There's thousands and thousands of people all doing the same, creating something right now, and we're all on that
What none of
wave.
us have done though for like half an hour
Huh.
is drink water.
Drink water. I've been drinking water.
Yeah,
Just drink
water
water.
is good. I love water.
Yeah.
Water is probably the best drink there is.
High energy. You got the zoomies from finishing an art project. You can't deny it. It always happens.
Dude,
And it's like, yeah, the energy is crazy.
if I finish a banger song, I'll like listen to that shit like fucking 7 times back and be dancing around and be like, I'll be like fucking shaking. I'm so excited. I'll be like, hell yeah.
Give me the best speakers I can find, possibly. Give me the loudest, but not necessarily turn it all the way up.
Yeah, I'm already deaf as hell, so
Dude, I got problems with this ear, and
Mhm.
it's really funny because I knew I was doing it and messing up my hearing in my right ear when I basically made the conscious decision to sacrifice
Mhm.
my hearing because I was playing music. I was learning to play guitar
Mhm.
in middle school and high school, and I always ended up in a position where wherever I was sitting or standing, I had to have my amp on my right side for some reason because of plug locations or the room
Mhm.
or the shape of the stage or whatever. I was always on the right, and I had my monitor right here. I destroyed my right ear. It's to the point where, like, if I have a headphone in, if I have a headphone in the opposite ear, I might as well be deaf. And I'm just.
But can you still hear like the shit coming out of the right headphone?
I can, I do. It's just it's degraded. Like it feels it always. I figured it out when I bought some expensive headphones years ago that broke. But anyway, I don't want to talk about it. But like some expensive headphones, and one side I was like, why is one side lower decibels than the other? I feel like I have a broken thing, and I sent it back, and they were like, decibel test show they're even. I was like, no way. And then someone else used my headphones, they're like, they're fine. It's like,
that sucks.
so
dude.
it's me. So,
Dude,
okay,
I'm sure in another 15 years we'll be at a point scientifically where it'll be cheap enough to get like total ear replacement.
Total inner, like, well, I mean, I would hate to exploit something like a cochlear inner ear implant and everything else and like trivialize that. But damn, is that cool technology? And oh my God, do I wish that I could also just get it. And it's not that it's something that's free or given out or anything like that, but my God, it's such a cool innovation. And yeah, please save my hearing and my vision for that matter. Like, gosh, like laser eye surgery is cool conceptually, but terrifying in practice to me.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be pretty safe though. I mean, I would like I'm blind as fuck too, so like I don't know. I got a whole slew of cosmetic surgeries I want to get, dude. I'm trying to find out which
really?
one I want to sign up.
Are you a body modder? Are you in cyberpunk world terms? Are you a modder? Do you feel like?
No, not
you
really. Not normally. I'm usually pretty happy with like my surgeries are like I want to get. Well, I feel like I'm gonna need gum replacement surgery at some point because like my gums are all super fucking fucked up.
It's that's man, that's time, and we are of that generation as well. That was like, y'all are raised on soda.
Yeah.
You're gonna have pop all the time.
Yeah.
And like, even if you don't, you're gonna have stuff that has sugar in it.
Yeah, I mean, I eat sugar all the time. And also, like, I've gone through, like, depressed periods in my life where I, like, don't brush my teeth every day. You know, I'll brush them, like, fucking 4 times a week or some shit like that.
Even that level of self-care, a lot of the time, is hard to attain, you know?
Yeah.
Keeping that energy up, it's tough, man. Yeah, I feel that.
And also smoking weed and, like, my mouth constantly being dry is also, like, has not done my gums well.
It's not the business. It's not what I would call good. Yeah, exactly. I agree. That's like one of the big drawbacks, you know. I tried to do gummies for quite a while, just because the smoking is, you know, it's too much stress on your body. It's wearing out receptors. It's wearing out your lungs. You know, it's obviously you're inhaling combusted carbon material, carbon-based materials. There's no version of that that's safe.
Yeah, smoking, just anything, period, is bad for your health.
Right. It's like literally everything. Like, I remember having, like, when I lived in California, there were people I worked with who emigrated to California for tech or whatever. And I worked with a lot of people who were, what is with the labeling? Prop 64 or whatever, or 56, 65? I can't remember what it was. My memory, again, destroyed. But you see it on everything, and you're like, what is this? Why does everything say that everything is carcinogenic or contains stuff that causes cancer? Why does everywhere I go, there's a sticker that says this? It's like, well, they passed a law that said you had to label it. So it's in everything, so it's on everything, so there's a label everywhere you go. There's just like, oh, you're buying a sandwich at the gas station. Why does it say it's carcinogenic? Well, does it contain bacon? Yeah. Was that bacon fried in oil?
Yeah, I mean, I think any food you're buying at a gas station, you should expect that to give you cancer, just
catch
point
a parasite.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I like doing the podcast. It's been fun. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for it to be summer break. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
What's
Uh,
your summer break plan? Are you gonna go? Are you gonna look around and like travel around and stuff and check out some
I got a
see
friend
the
coming.
sights, or did you already do that?
I got a friend coming for 3 weeks, like from America, and at the start of
Awesome.
March. So I'll chill with him for 3 weeks, and then we'll like go around and do some shit. And then after that, I'll probably like go down south to the islands. I really haven't been out of Buriram, like the town I'm in, at all.
Oh wow.
I've been
Yeah.
to like Bangkok a couple times, and I had to go to Laos, but like I've been like busy with work and like fucking. I usually have like, this is the first job where I've ever had to take anything home with me. Um,
You
like
do or don't? You don't have
I
to.
do, I do. I have to like do
Oh,
work at
oh,
home, which I'm not used to, like grading papers and administrative shit and like lesson plans and stuff. Um,
right.
so I'm
Oh,
definitely looking forward to having like 2.5 months off where I can just,
just chill.
yeah,
Just do what you want to do, and
yeah, and
yeah.
I'm getting paid
Awesome.
too, which is like best of both worlds. Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
Good.
yeah,
I'm always like, anytime anyone I know is like, hey, I got a raise. Hey, I got, a bonus, or hey, I got, paid vacation. I got time off. I get to rest, and I get to like take care of myself, and like I get a break from the grind, from
yeah,
the labor, from
yeah.
being the labor of the world. Good for you. Hell yeah. I'm glad.
It's a
Like
perk of being a teacher. My
by all
mom was a
means.
teacher, so I like, so, and she still is. She's been a teacher for so long, so she always had summers off, which was sometimes annoying. Sometimes it was cool, I guess. But now I get to
What
fucking.
was what was the annoying part? Was it just because we're both home?
Yeah, she'd be nagging at me about some shit, dude. I don't know.
You gotta get your.
Yeah,
It's always like the chores or something like that. And what was?
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say. What is? Do you have a game situation? Anything you're looking forward to playing, or anything you have been playing, um,
Um.
lately?
Well, I
Are
was,
you old
dude.
school in it? Or?
I'm a PS2 guy. I brought my PS2, except
Yes.
I haven't been able to play it since I've been here because I haven't been
The
able to
adapter?
find an AV to HDMI adapter, and I ordered the wrong one, and then I just haven't ordered the right one. But I'll
I, s-
probably do that today.
I saw it in your
Yeah,
stories. The
yeah,
oh man, it's a pain in the butt.
yeah,
Um, that like yeah, that moment of like, yes, I'm gonna go play some game, and then no,
dude. I was so hyped for it too. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go.
it's tough,
Um,
man. It's tough.
yeah.
What game? And you're trying to get into what? Was it? Is that what you have the SSX game on, or
I
was
have
it
SSX
S64?
for
I can't remember.
GameCube. No, I'm trying to play fucking
GameCube.
Dynasty Warriors 5.
Oh fuck yeah, that's right, Dynasty Warriors, dude. I've dumped hours into Dynasty Warriors 3 or 4 or
Yeah,
both. I can't remember,
yeah.
but man, there's just something about
I
just
love it. I've been
hack
playing
and
it
slash
since
it through.
I've been playing it since I was a kid, man, and ever since I first played it, I was like infatuated about it. I was like, this might be the best game ever. And the soundtrack in 5, at least, I know a lot of the other games have good soundtracks, but the soundtrack in 5 is fucking a masterpiece. It's like all the
It's
tracks
so
go
good.
fucking so hardcore, and yeah, so it's definitely one of my favorite games. I'll probably play like
It's awesome.
Fight Night and stuff like that, like Fight Night Round 2, and
Dude, dude, those games crack me up. I can't play boxing games that have any kind of like movement and like collision physics where things distort, like where
yeah,
faces go,
yeah,
whatever, and like stuff like that, because it cracks me the fuck up to see the like uncanny,
yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah,
like
yeah,
start
yeah.
wiggling
And
around on the
dude,
ground
in
and
the
stuff like
slow
that.
mo, they
I
like
lose my
make the
shit.
funniest noises, like, yeah, it's so fucking good, yeah.
Yeah, it kills me. And that's one of those games where like that had, if I remember correctly, Fight Night had a really like for some reason very specific facial like character customization, right? And
Yeah,
you would make the weirdest looking like
yeah,
monster of a like I remember I tried to make like a, I'm a big fan of like caricature, right? So I would
yeah,
do like a gigantic, like as big as the nose could get, and then make beady little eyes or like a unibrow. Just like, how can I make this person be a Muppet but still
yeah.
be like a human? Who's
Yeah,
out here
I mean,
trying
it's
to
always, I
box?
feel like it's nice to run the gamut of created characters. Like, I like to create characters that are like realistic and like, or not realistic, but like conceivable or some shit like that, or like more like having some concept, and then it's fun to create like total monsters and behemoths and like freaky beasts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've always been big into like creatures as like for art and not to be redundant, but um, in art and stuff like that. But like that creative drive, like just making up monsters, it's fun because like I don't know, like I guess I wouldn't say it comes from like fear or anything like that, but it just comes from like how can I take reality and go blit 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 and just pull sliders, no middle sliders, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
push something to either the extreme or at least push it in a direction, because the medium or the norm it's it's not entertaining, it's not fun. It feels less alive to me. It's too samey or normal
Yeah.
in that way.
I just created my Instagram avatar yesterday.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Never had one before, and it's like a chick with like she's like a furry chick with like a pirate hat and like a bunch of stickers
Hell
and
yeah.
shit on her face. She looks great. I mean, I guess it's a he because
Hell
it's
yeah.
me, but he's got a chick's haircut.
What is
Yeah.
what is gender?
Yeah, right.
Get out. Yeah, what is binary? Let's not.
Yeah.
We don't have to limit ourselves. We're talking
Yeah.
about freedom here,
Yeah.
of expression. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure though. Dude, I love that. What did you use to? Did you draw this? Is this an original piece? Is this?
No, I just so I've always seen like my friends use like the Instagram avatars, and
The avatars. Oh, through like
Yeah.
Meta.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I try to. I remember the Snapchat one.
Mhm.
I felt every time I've looked at it, because I don't use Snapchat very much, but I know people who do, so I have it. But every time I've gone into it, I'm like, why am I being incentivized to buy fake clothes? with
Yeah,
real-
I mean, I wasn't gonna pay for no fucking clothes.
Yeah, hell no,
yeah.
no. But it's one of those things where I'm like, why are we doing this, people?
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
we really? Can
Well,
we just take
people
a step
can't-
back and go, no thanks?
Yeah, I,
It's
I,
not-
I really like the creative characters on like games like WWE games like SmackDown vs. Raw or Day of Reckoning or
Dude, that was okay. I was a backyard wrestling kid, man.
Oh,
Like I straight up,
fuck,
we had a
man.
trampoline, and we got into trouble. We got hurt. We hurt each other. We
Yeah.
didn't tell anybody that we got hurt. We used things like ladders that we shouldn't have. You know what I mean? Like we were crazy, man. And I'm not saying that like I was doing anything that was, we weren't doing anything that would be in anyone's backyard wrestling volume
Yeah,
37
yeah.
fucking
You
whatever.
didn't do enough
But
to
we
get in
were
the video
kids
game.
who were being super sketchy with the safety of what we were doing with our physical bodies. And we paid the price a few times, and like people got hurt, and it wasn't like no one was fatally or mortally or in grave danger by any means, but we had some injuries, man. And it's always scary when you're like, well, it's not fun anymore.
Would you have to
Everything
end
has
the match,
changed.
or would the match be over? Like, how many matches do you think you guys had? Like, did you have a ring, or?
Total?
Oh, you said you had a
So that was-
trampoline. You had a trampoline?
It was we had a trampoline in the backyard, and we heavily modified things to make it. I don't know if it was more safe or more dangerous, but
Yeah.
we definitely made it something
Yeah.
different.
The
from
intent
just
was to make it more safe.
Yeah. We tried to keep each other from getting hurt, because we were basically just kids messing around. We were basically
Yeah.
role playing. You know what I'm saying? We're LARPing basically.
Oh, okay.
We're not trying to hurt each other, but I have 3 brothers, so there are 4
Uh-huh.
of us,
Nice.
and we're like,
Oh, hell
2
yeah.
years
You're
apart
a
each.
Dan with 3 brothers?
Yeah,
too.
man. I got
Gang.
what?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
Do they have Are they named like the Ninja Turtles? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I was a Ninja Turtles kid. You mentioned TMNT.
That
on
would
your,
be, besides
your
The Sandlot,
big-
that's probably one of the movies I've seen the most is the original Teenage Mutant
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles.
And like I saw this today, and I decided to grab it because I was like, TMNT. I hate Vanilla Ice now. Again,
Yeah.
this is one of those cutting
Oh
cutting
yeah,
my nostalgia in half.
fucking that's the second one, right?
Yeah, that's the second
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Uh,
Slice into the nostalgia and grind it to a pulp. That guy is terrible now. But anyway, but yeah, three brothers, and we would get into some shit in that backyard. We would hurt each other because there's only so far that you could sort of like troll each other. Like it gets to the point, much like I say real wrestling, but I mean professional wrestling,
mhm,
where the role playing aspect, because it's acting. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying?
mhm.
You're basically doing stunt work. You're trying to execute these like acrobatic moves without destroying each other, but you're hitting each other, you're colliding, you're impacting each other, and you're impacting things like the
Yeah,
ground
yeah.
and like the
What was
bars of
your
trampoline and like
finishing move?
plywood. Oh dude, I was a backflip dude.
Oh
I could
fuck.
do backflips.
Nice.
We competed to see. I got a triple backflip once,
Oh
but
fuck.
I wouldn't do it again because I flew off. I had so much momentum, and we didn't have like in hindsight, I wish we had like a drop pad, basically just a big foam pad,
Like
and we had
outside or
them
something?
at our like school gym. And I
Yeah.
remember someone suggesting that we try to like borrow it and never give it back because it was
Nice.
like the old one that was in storage or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we didn't have anything like that, so there was nothing to slow us down or stop, and it was dirt rocks, little like shrubs and things like that in this backyard, and
Yeah.
like random bits of wood that somehow would migrate, or from when in the off season, as it were, when wood gets moved around, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I remember doing a triple backflip, just
Uh-huh.
spinning way too fast. I
Yeah.
didn't know at the time. I was just like, I'm gonna see how far I can push this. And I had my brother double bounce me, dude, and
Oh
like I
fuck.
just spun like a wild, like out of control,
And
and
this
I
was in the middle of a
tilted.
match.
I wish
Oh,
it was,
okay.
because it would
This
have been
was
way
just
cooler.
practice. Yeah.
This was just messing around on the trampoline.
Yeah, yeah,
We literally said, I bet I can do more rotations than you can
yeah.
in a backflip. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, you're on. And I won, but it's
Uh-huh.
because I flew off the trampoline. And when I landed on my back, and I
Uh-huh.
hit the dirt, and I looked over, and there was a piece of rebar stuck out of the dirt from an old, like someone, the previous owner before, and this was my grandmother's house. So it was like an
Mhm.
old, built in the, well, I mean, I guess it was probably built in the 50s, but remodeled in like the 60s or 70s, maybe
Yeah.
early 80s. But some previous person at some point had buried rebar so far down that it had taken years to migrate up, out, and just like other movement of the dirt and earth and vibration and whatever, and like erosion,
Yeah.
it slowly was exposing itself. And I landed, and I looked over, and I thought it was just a stick because it was rusted and like had like a texture to it. But I like touched it, and I was like cold metal, and I was like, oh no. And I, time out. All right, here, this happened. And I was like, yeah, let's not do that again. And I don't think we did more than like a singular backflip ever again on that fucking trampoline, because everyone
Yeah.
was just like spooked.
Yeah.
But long story long, yeah, man, backflips. That was my shit. That move, and it felt intense because you're always like trying to spot, but during rotation is terrifying. And I don't know anything. I don't know what I'm doing. I just started trying, and like I couldn't skate for crap, and I couldn't do tricks. I wasn't doing. I
Dude,
wasn't busting grinds
I
everywhere.
couldn't. I was friends with a bunch of skaters. I could never fucking skate at all. I didn't learn how to ride a bike until I was in fifth grade. My balance is
Whoa,
out.
man. Okay.
I had like a bunch of surgeries when I was a kid, so I was like behind in a lot of like shit developmentally as well. So I had really bad balance. I mean, I feel like I probably still have bad balance, but yeah, I just never
Is it like
learned
an
how to
inner
ride a
ear
bike.
type
But
thing? Is it specifically balance, or is it just generally like spatial relationships and like things like that?
I am very
Curiosity, sorry.
I am very spatially challenged for sure. Uh,
I
I'm
feel
like a
that. I
horrible
feel that.
driver, and like proportions and stuff like
That's
that.
fair, man. That's
Yeah.
fair. Well, Yeah. Oh man, I meant to talk about proportions. How much time? What is our time situation? I feel like where you got to be? What do you want to do?
I don't.
I haven't been keeping track.
I mean, I haven't been looking at the. I never really look.
The
Dude,
clock.
I run my stream like a fucking caveman. Like, I should be like. There's like a chat. I think. Yeah, there's like a long fucking chat.
Is it? I'm not looking at anything, so I don't know, man. If there's anything available, I'm not watching it. I should be. I'm not a good streamer. I am not a streamer. I'm just a talker. That's why I run. That's why I run multiple D&D games, man, because it just gives me the opportunity to just talk and make shit up and just like tell people a story and then ask them to fill in the blank. You know what I mean? Um, as a game, though, as a system, I'm trying to change to something else because I'm not a fan of the company that runs it. It's another ethics thing, um, and this goes into like AI
mm,
generated images, which they are not art. Um,
yeah.
and for some reason it's a controversial subject, but it's because there's a lot of people who have decided to rapidly start exploiting a thing that they just wantonly signed up to say is okay, and it's screwing over a bunch of people, and it's causing a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean, I frankly just don't give a shit about AI. I think it's like I like making art. Like it's fun for me to make art, and I think AI art is just like not. It's just like generative and stuff like that. Or I don't know. Like it's just I don't really care. Like it's not gonna stop me from fucking doing
It does
my
nothing.
thing.
It does nothing. It doesn't. It has no soul. It feels like every time I see people are like, "Oh, you can't always tell," and that's
Yeah.
true. But in most cases, that's because you don't recognize the artist that it's ripping off. You aren't familiar with that artist's work, and there's a reason for that, and it's because there's a severe underexposure of the amazing amount of artists that are out in the world. Like, just people all over. I mean, I try. I'm again going back to social media. I spend way too much time on social media,
Yeah.
but more for the purposes of just being aware of world events most of the time.
Yeah.
And trying to like overly spam my stories with you know important what I see as important information. But it's easy to miss that there's a whole generation of artists that are being like ignored, that are being not shut out. And that's like, because that sounds like victim. People like to say, "Oh, victim mentality, poor me. I can't be an artist and live my life." Yeah, why is that a hard thing to understand? There
I
should
saw like
be
a funny I don't know if it was like a tweet or some shit the other day. It's like it's crazy that like we're like letting the computers and like machines make artwork while like we work. Like shouldn't it be the other way
right.
around? Like
Shouldn't we be eliminating as many basic jobs as we can? You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe that we don't have automated farming yet. I don't, and it's not that
I would love
it's
being
not
a
that
farmer.
I'm underestimating the problem, because there's a lot of complex problems. I have a friend who's an engineer, who's just, I admire this guy tremendously. He's
Hmm.
a super generous person, super kind heart, um, and also extremely intelligent and
Nice.
crafty and creative. And like my partner and like other people in my life tell me that I'm very crafty because I can like figure out, solutions to complex problems with minimal resources. But that comes out of like necessity in my life. But this guy, he's an engineer. It's on a whole
Mm.
other level.
Yeah.
This guy turned his backyard into a giant hydroponic garden
Oh
that
shit.
fed off of a built-in pond. Well, I think it was a pool or something like that was there, that he turned into a pond, that he decided was going to feed a little micro ecosystem of stuff that was going to provide food for these fish that were going to then like keep all the algae away from these hydroponic plants. And I was like, this is crazy. I can't even. You're way over my head, and I'm lost. But he's like, yeah. So now it's like this whole circular system, and I'm all set up. And now I can grow herbs and grow some plants and stuff like that. Like he's got like tomatoes or this or that, and like growing big lettuces and stuff. And I'm like, you're that guy on the block that the HOA fucking hates, man. But like, I love it, and you love to see it. Like,
Yeah, fuck
use
the
your
housing
yard for something.
administration.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's such a scam, and it's just another relic of the racist, origins of so many things in this country. But I won't get too far into that because it's a bummer. But I want to talk about that, and I talk about that a lot. But in this
Yeah.
case, I feel like right now, because we're in a creative atmosphere, I'm not going to bum it out with that. And that's not to undermine or minimize problems like racism during, Black History Month, but it's
Right.
just not what we're talking about. Dude, yes. So tell me about how would these expressions work with 3 eyebrows? And I like, is this anger that I'm seeing, or is this focus? I feel like it's like that thing where you get 2 different faces. Have you done that yet? Cover one of the eyes and like part of the face, just and put your hand up in front of it and see the face that you've created on either side. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think most of my characters express some sort of like abject terror or insanity.
It's very. Have you heard of? See, look at that. See, now we got a side eye thing going on.
Yeah.
Where it's like, huh?
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
And then try that other side. Move that one. Yeah, slide over to the other one. See, that looks like intense focus.
I think they're all like sort of like an alien intelligence. I think they're like an alien species, you know.
I had some crazy, like, I was talking to my partner about alien experiences, UFO experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I wane and wax between my sort of opinion and theory as far as like whether or not I think there's other intelligent life that's like anywhere near our galaxy. You know what I'm saying? Like, considering the vastness of space and the vastness of time that's already been versus now, the chances of us and some other hyper intelligent species overlapping in like space and time feels like it would have to be deliberate, right? But anyway, we were talking about crazy alien experiences, but like, what's your favorite alien archetype? Because there's the grays with the like almond eyes, the black glazed over eyes, but you're drawing like more, I feel like, classic Martian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get multiple eyes. You get like maybe tentacles.
Yeah.
You get
I'm more of a fan
weird
of.
abstract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that probably like the weirder the better. You know, maybe some like fucking Star Wars shit, where like
Jim Henson stuff, man.
Yeah.
I love that. But
I've been having
Pappins
a blast drawing like cartoon characters and shit recently. It's been super fun. Like,
Yeah.
I like the easy ones. Like, I didn't realize how easy The Simpsons are to draw, like, relatively.
There's a very good reason for that, which Matt Groening, I think, would or has said many times, which is he's terrible at drawing. So
Yeah.
he wanted to make it easy as shit
Yeah.
to draw every character. Because have you ever seen any of his like early comics by any chance? Like, he did comic strips where there was it was a lot of like, I feel like he was one of those office dudes, you know what I mean? Like, and I can relate to that. But he was one of those guys trapped in an office and just trying to make the best of it. So he would draw like, I don't know, and maybe hopefully it was after he was no longer working in offices, but it would be a lot of like, I just remember, those pink erasers that are like a parallelogram shape.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? Those blocky ones.
Mm-hmm.
He would take those and put tacks in them to give them 4 legs, and like use paper clips bent out of shape to give them different shaped ears and like accessories. And he would draw comics of how to make them was one of the things. And I'm like, this is a bored dude in a cubicle trapped. Please send help. This guy. And then Simpsons, like, it's literally the longest running animated show of all time or something, right? It's got to be at this point, right?
Yeah, that sounds
it's like
right.
a million years old. But I love drawing those characters, and like, I love the crude versions of them from the early days. But man, the early episodes are cringe, man. It's hard to watch that shit now. Time makes fools of us all,
So true.
So, you've been drawing a lot of monsters lately. You're talking about drawing Pokemon, and I've noticed, or you said, dude, you said there's over 1,000 Pokemon now. Was
Yeah.
it 1,052 or 54 or something like that?
1025.
25. Okay,
1025.
still,
Yeah.
again, that's too many Pokemon. But Pokemon Go is the most Pokemon I've played, and it's not much. And like my kids got into the cards briefly over like last year, the end of last year. So I've got some experience seeing it, but what trips me out is imagining some of the splash art on the cards blows my mind because it's great. It's amazing. It's like, man, I want to watch the show that looks this good. And I'm like, what if you applied Studio, is it Ghibli?
Yeah, I don't know. One of them.
If you applied that level of artistry and like time and budget basically like into the detail of like a Pokemon anime, and I know that's not to minimize what's already there, but like there are some anime that like they're on another level because they've just consumed so much paint and time from artists. Like what was it like? Have you ever like looking at the cities and stuff of cyberpunk stuff like Ghost in the Shell or like Akira and shit like that? Like that stuff still blows my mind to this day. It's just some of those beautiful art, right? Man, where was I going with this? I don't know. I need to. This mimic is driving me crazy. Oh, drawing Pokemon, breaking them down to simple shapes and taking that to the extreme. I feel like they're running out of. They have 1,025 Pokemon. I'm not saying you'll run out of ideas for names.
No, dude.
Shape language.
They won't. They won't run out of names. They'll be fine. Names are the easy parts. It'll be like finding shit that's like interesting to do. I don't know. I mean, I think they'll keep it running for as long as they can. They'll probably get to 2,000 Pokemon if anything.
2,000 at least, right? But I would love to see, that level of detail in Pokemon. But it's also becomes horrifying in a way. There's something about Pokemon that is inherently like dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, so you just go out into the forest and you just take these things? You just take these creatures? You just beat them up with other creatures?
Dude, yeah, if I had a Pokemon, I would just go out to like fucking lunch with them. We would like go shopping and stuff.
See, and what was it? Did you see Detective Pikachu?
No, man, I want to see that and Sonic. I haven't seen either. I'm really bad with movies.
It's so for me, it's hard to avoid because my kids see it, and they're like, "Oh, I want to watch that." And
Yeah.
like, well, here we go. It's Pokemon, but it's CG.
I would be loving that, dude. I would be like, I don't care. Like, if I were you, I'd be like, this is what we're watching. It's Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu. You want to watch that again? They're like, no.
Yeah,
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to watch it again? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a few movies like that, but I like how in that movie, this is no spoiler, but just the way that they approached Pokemon living in the real world as like companions, like homies with people. There's so many times when they like you dress alike, and I was like, yes, because that's how every Pokemon trainer wants to be. Everybody who wants to, self-insert into that Pokemon trainer world, they're like, what would be my outfit?
Yeah.
Which Pokemon am I gonna match my outfit to?
Yeah.
That's so what like the games make you do, right?
Yeah.
They encourage that blatant.
Do you have like if you could pick like 6 Pokemon to put on your dream team, who would you be running?
See, that's the thing. My dream team is trash because I love ghost Pokemon because I'm like the cliche spooky dude who loves skeletons and jack-o'-lanterns and orange and black everything and purple and green,
Yeah. So who's on your ghost team?
Dude, I might as well just grab my phone and tell you what my ghost team is because I have it. It's in Pokemon Go. It's just my favorite like ghost types by visual because I'm not gonna sit here trying to like perfectly max everything out and like I have gotten some of them to a good point, but it's Pokemon Go, man. Mostly I just I collect, it's a collection game. Takes forever to load apparently, but that's because my phone is like ancient at this point. An ancient smartphone these days is like what, 3 years, 2 years?
What number you got?
This is well. See, it's not it's not even an iPhone, dude. I'm an Android, dude. So like everyone's like, you know, and it's like a company no one cares about. It's not even a company that I particularly like.
Yeah.
It's just the one I ended up with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's definitely at least 4 generations back by now, I think, because it's like it's a sixth generation of whatever this model is.
Yeah, I'm rocking
and
an
like
iPhone
my partner
6.
has like and my partner has like a 9, and like that's even outdated now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, why is Pokemon Go crashing now? That's cool. Well, anyway, I know like Gengar is a classic.
Yeah.
I love the Gengar, and the whole like Ghastly
Yeah.
evolution.
So would you
the
put
whole-
Ghastly and Gengar on your dream team? Just like fuck it, keep them both.
just so I could have both because
Yeah,
they're totally
yeah.
visual. That's the thing. I always thought before I got anywhere into actually playing a Pokemon, I always thought those were 2 completely separate Pokemon. I didn't realize they were evolutions of each other because they didn't feel the
Yeah.
same blueprint.
Yeah.
But I love like what's his Lampent or Lampert? Is it Lampert or Lampent? I can't remember. Let me see. Where's my Ghost team at? Why is everything so slow? My phone needs to charge, but I
Yeah.
don't let it charge because
Yeah. Fuck it, dude.
I'm using it too much.
It can have juice later.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm really only good with like the first 2 generations. I know some other ghost
Yeah.
Pokemon like Gligar and stuff.
There's one. Okay, so coughing, wheezing, love it.
Oh shit,
Like
there goes.
wheezing. There's a version of wheezing
Hmm.
that I have in Pokemon Go where he's literally like he's turned into like an old timey like here. Can I hold this up? Is this too much?
Go
Can I
for
hold
it.
this up here? He's turned into like an old timey. Let me get this focus here. Almost.
Oh yeah.
Here, let me see if it'll focus on the thing. He's got like a stovepipe hat and a mustache. Anyway, it's hard to see, but he basically looks like a fucking bong with like weed all over his face.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, all right, it's the best Pokemon. That's the coolest ghost Pokemon right there. And he's not
Yeah.
even a ghost. He's just like a poison or something like that. But he's on my ghost team honorably because he
Yeah.
floats around like a ghost. You know, he's
Yeah.
got the look.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of
And you got
Pokemon
another type
memes.
in there, so you're a little more versatile. You can poison
Little
people.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't instantly get crushed by what is it like ground type or something like that. I don't even remember half the time. I just mash buttons until
Yeah.
I down something. Yeah, man. What's your favorite? What's your dream team? What's your Pokemon dream team?
I would
Give me-
rock.
'cause I can't even have 5. I got like 3.
I would rock Alakazam. For
Dude.
sure.
Classic.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spoons, bro. What's up? I got spoons.
Yeah. For eating beans. Yeah.
For eating beans.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. This guy.
Yeah.
Who's your
So,
bean sponsor right now? No, I'm just kidding.
dude, we don't. Beans aren't really a part of Thai food, which is a goddamn tragedy.
No legumes, man.
No, they ain't a legume.
Crazy.
They ain't a legume fucking place, man. So.
What about like? But you got like bean sprouts, right?
Yeah, we
There's
got
some kind
bean
of
sprouts, but
legumes
it's not. I'm like a black bean kind of guy, you know.
Oh yeah, you want those hearty beans?
Yeah, I
Hearty
want
chili
them.
bean-
I want
chili
to be
beans.
all full of protein and fiber and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Harden it up,
we,
man. It's the
they're,
gas.
they're in like I could go to the grocery store and get them, but it's also hard. I don't have a kitchen really. I just cook if I'm cooking
Oh.
at home. If I'm cooking at home, I have like a little hot. I have a rice cooker which I can cook beans in, but it's like a little bit too
Hell yeah.
small. I need to like
Oh.
buy a bigger one, like so I can. fit
Are you
more
an air
beans.
fryer? Are you considering, or are you an air fryer type person? Because apparently there's a lot of air fryer situations now.
People have
Like
been trying to get me on
availability.
the air fryer game. I don't know. The less stuff I have, the better. I already have I have like a hot stove thingy, portable hot stove, and like a rice cooker.
Right.
So I don't need an air fryer too. I got a space shortage. But on the nice
Yeah.
side, it's like literally like I can go out to eat and it's like fucking each dish is like $1. Or like fucking some of the nice ones are like $2 or $3, like US. equivalent.
Nice.
So it's fucking.
Dang! Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Is
My-
it just? It's
my
just a direct
fucking-
transfer. Sorry.
It's just like there's so many restaurants that it's everything's so cheap, and also like my rent for my apartment is like $134 USD a month. So
Bro.
yeah, it's
It's
like
not bad. That's like the price of like a hotel room You know what I mean?
For like
in
one
the
night, yeah, in
States.
America, yeah.
For a night,
Yeah,
per night.
yeah.
Dude, I just saw like a video. I just saw a video earlier today where some person was talking about they live in Boston and their rent is going up to the point where they're in a studio. You know, it's a
Yeah.
small space,
Yeah,
and it's going up to like 3,200 or something like that, and
Yeah.
or 400, and they're like, no.
yeah.
No. How am I supposed to do this? How is anyone? And that's the thing. It's like people just getting priced out of everywhere out here. But man, that sounds nice. That sounds nice to just be being able to live with less pressure, so much less pressure. Hopefully,
Yeah.
you're
That's,
saying.
I mean, that's like the reason why I want to stay out here, because it's like, it's fucking, it's less scary here. It's like,
Yeah. How do you feel about that, man?
I don't know.
Like
It's
the
like scary
fear
living in America. I don't know. It's like the whole country is so fucked up in so many ways that it's like, and just
long-running
people are getting shot,
issues.
and like fucking their crime is crazy, and mental health is terrible,
Yeah.
and like the
And
politicians are
I've
like
been too
literally
close to that.
insane people. Um,
Yeah, like insane, senile, old,
yeah,
losing their mind.
yeah.
It's like beyond, beyond.
It's like a
Okay,
soap
beyond
opera,
even
honestly.
path.
It's like a really bad soap opera, and like really horrifying soap opera.
Yeah, it's with way higher stakes than
Yeah,
soap opera.
yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real though. It does feel like that too often. That it's just like it's a game to too many people. It's an excuse to be, you know, I don't know. I don't want to get too far into it, but yeah, it's a long-standing mental health crisis too in this whole friggin' country, man. It's
Yeah.
like how many years did you think we could go without having mental health care
Yeah.
while the rest of the world goes, hey, we're trying to get our, not everybody, but you know what I mean, people in some areas of the world are like, hey, we've reached a point of society being you know, not
Advanced enough to
self-sufficient per
like
se,
pay
but
for your medical bills and shit.
yeah, we figured out healthcare.
Yeah.
And in America, they keep selling this myth that it's a hard problem to solve. And I'm like, well, we're the only one who hasn't.
Yeah.
So maybe it's about time.
Yeah.
Not the only, but you know, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, they always use that term in the developed world, but we all know
Yeah.
what that really means.
Yeah.
It's codified. But anyway, yeah, it's crazy, man. I really wish that I could have, you know, just easily accessible mental health care whenever I need it. The world would be a different place, you know.
Yeah, 100%. They need to get their fucking shit together.
Yeah, big time.
All you need to get a job in Thailand is a college degree, so, and that's basically true in anywhere in the world. So, I
It's
don't
nice,
know.
man.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that bus, man. I missed out, man. And like I say that, but also, you know, there's the issue of zoomed out by accident. There's the issue of being stuck with a big chunk of debt or something like that, right? And some people made it out more alive than others, and you know,
Yeah.
kudos to them. And hopefully, you know, more debt gets canceled, because it's just slavery with extra steps, man. It's not cool to force people. And like elsewhere in the world, they're like, yeah, that's good enough to do a job. You're a person. You got a degree, right? Yeah, like we all did, right? Where you go to school because, you know, your country, oh, you paid for it out of your pocket. Like you had to get a loan from like,
Yeah, it's
that
crazy,
much, huh?
man. It's like insane. The only reason
That's so
I
crazy.
got a degree is because like at the school I graduated from, I like went, I got a full ride, or like I didn't have to
Hell
pay.
yeah,
So it's
scholarship.
like,
Yeah. Good
but
for
I
you,
never
man.
really used it for fucking shit, and I never planned on using it for shit. I was like, I don't really like. I would rather be doing something else.
Yeah. So what is your degree? Very specific or very vague?
I
You know what I'm
got
saying?
I'm a double major in philosophy and communication studies.
That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense
Yeah.
for your whole Not to put you in a box or anything like that, man, but like that makes sense for what I see. That tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Philosophy. You're a philosopher. You're a modern day philosopher, my friend. And that's how I
Dude,
see some of the
I
shit that you
hated
say.
philosophy. It was so fucking boring. I never read shit, and like it was.
Well, that's the thing. Is like it's all written by stuffy old dudes who
Yeah.
think they know everything. So like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you're like that's not me. That's not me.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean though. Is like it's a different take. It's a different approach. It's like being a bard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're the keeper of the spirit of what is life. Live it. Go live it. Embody that. And it's a struggle too in your person, and you go through your ups and downs like everybody else, but like in the end you're the one that's like I see you posting stuff and talking about in your thing. Your attitude is that of somebody who sees the world for what it could be, not for what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The world is many things. I mean, I think even despite all the fucking horrible things going on, like I do think, like, I like the world, and I like fucking, for the most part, I like being alive and the things that come with being alive. Sometimes some days it's like not always that way, but I would say generally I like listening to music and like fucking watching anime and like, or just like doing nothing, like eating and stuff like that. Like,
yeah. See, that's the thing. I miss having, so like that's the thing I look back on. You have multiple siblings. I miss the meals. I miss the meals where you're all there.
Yeah.
You're all just talking shit. You're all just hanging out, being not adults, but you're, like for me it was back when before we were all teenagers, you know what I'm saying? But like, it was a different time. But like I miss having just it's always good to have a good big meal where everyone is just chilling.
Yeah.
And you have to keep the conversation going for the sake of what else are we gonna do? We're sitting here eating, and it makes the food better. It makes the situation.
Maybe bring out like a fucking cheese plate before dinner, dude, and go
man.
fucking crazy, man. Go all out.
Do that.
Fucking cheese.
And like it, call it gluttony if you will, but you're not eating to excess. You're eating for your soul. You're getting. You're revitalizing, man. It's worth it. It's good stuff. I don't know. What do you think of this mimic, man? Can you see this? With this thing?
Yeah, I like it.
What does it need? I mean, right now it's just all one color because I'm working like monochromatically, like, and that's what. Oh yeah, we were talking about that. You were talking about that. Color palettes, stuff like that, and I recommended that thing, and I it shouldn't have been in the chat, but it's fun to play around with color palette, and I notice you have a set color palette, but it's within a realm that is different. And you were talking about looking for unique color palettes, and I keep seeing videos where people are demonstrating like, hey, if you use this kind of paint with this sort of whatever derived pigment, whether it's from a metal or whatever, like, because oils always have like, those colors were based on heavy metals that like they would add to the paint and stuff, which is like super toxic, right? Back then. Way back when the masters were doing stuff. But like there are ways to approach color mixing and color theory just totally differently. Like, instead of your standard primaries, you shift the primaries to be like, what if it's, there's CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and the K is black, but that's because it's for print purposes, right? Because you always have a black layer in there somewhere. And then there's like weird triads and whatever color palettes that you derive a whole different approach of like, what are your primaries, secondaries, and then tertiary colors, and you just make a whole other palette. And I love seeing people be like, you were talking about trying to see the world with different colors. Like, what would it be like if you could see like ultraviolet? You know what I mean? Totally different. Absolutely. You're widening your color palette. You're just adding more colors that you're in the visible spectrum, and it's crazy to think about, because how do you describe these colors unless you break the rules?
You can't even conceptualize it, really.
Yeah, and you have to break the rules of like standard color theory stuff, and it just goes back to
That's another reason why I like the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett, because there's like a color of magic. It's called Octarine.
yeah, Octarine.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
That's right, man. I've heard that word before, but I didn't make the connection. I didn't know what it was from. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and the world is set on the back of like fucking
Oh, that's the giant turtle. Is that the
space,
giant
yeah,
turtle?
with 4 elephants, and then the disc is
Dude.
on top of that.
I have a drawing. Man, it's in storage. I have a drawing that I did for a friend of mine. So a friend of mine that I worked with was a mathematician disguised for whatever reason as like a video game producer. That's what they were doing with their life career-wise. Now they have written a sci-fi anthology, and I think they're working on another book. They work in like augmented reality and VR technology development, like conceptualization and mathematics and engineering and programming and things like that, as well as the management of the project, and they're just this person that's amazing. And she's one of my favorite sci-fi authors now, because she wrote this anthology that's like with the world on the track that it is right now, environmentally speaking. She, instead of looking forward and seeing and just retelling like, here's how bad it'll be, or here's the result, here's another possible horrible result of this happening, right? It's not unrealistic and it's not dishonest, but it's, what if we tried to get our shit together? What if we really tried to fix things in a genuine way with the world and the way that we live? And how would that look?
Yeah.
And to see someone conceptualize that and write it so beautifully and so movingly, oh god, man, this book
Yeah,
is
man,
just...
send me like the link or some shit like that. If I'm back in America, I'll try and pick it up, or see if I can like read it online or something.
Present the screen. Why does it switch screens? Here, I'm gonna stop presenting here for a second. It's gonna be my face, so I can do.
You ever read any of the Michael Moorcock books? He was a big
what was that? I know the name, and I'm so bad with this is one of those things where I've wanted to this is one of the reasons that I feel skeptical about, or I worry about the gatekeeping of things like the literary genres, or even comics, graphic novels in the comic industry, because I've wanted to be in comics for so long. The gatekeeping, I fear, has led me to be paralyzed with, I don't know what stuff, what media is the right stuff to know or whatever. But it's one of those things where when I was first getting into it, I hear Terry Pratchett and there's so many other authors that I just haven't read, dude. I'm not a good reader.
Have you ever read any Neil Gaiman, like Sandman?
Yeah, so Gaiman, I read a big chunk of Sandman, but I never finished it.
Yeah.
And that's because I was treating a coworker / friend of mine like my personal comic book library, because he had just a massive collection.
Yeah.
And he was one of those people who started out collecting issues, but he quickly gave up on that when he realized that trade paperbacks were a thing. And he was just like, this is how I'm going to read comics. I'm going to wait until a comic is over and it's printed, it's done. But he would support the first issues and the big issues if he needed to try to keep it going, but and be a reader. But mostly he was trying to go to the backlog and read all the Gaiman and Moore, Alan Moore stuff. He's got just such a huge, a deep bench of projects and stuff,
Alan Moore,
some are masterpieces.
He's probably my favorite graphic novelist. I've read quite a bit of his works.
An extremely strange individual. And as a person, far from a far from perfect person, but not as an artist, I deeply appreciate so much of his stuff, and it's been so influential in a lot of weird ways. But I didn't finish Sandman because I got to a certain point, and then
he stopped having it.
I think I asked him if I could read something else, and it took me on a tangent, and I just never came back. It's just straight up ADHD.
That'll get you. That'll get you. I only read it because my friend has all the copies, so I borrowed them. We were living together, and he was reading them. He was like, "These are really fucking good. You gotta read these." So as soon as he was done, I was like,
Nice.
He wrote Coraline too, and Coraline's a good book.
Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that. My God, there's so many times when like I see films come out or adaptations of things, and I'm like, ooh, this looks good. And then like you're seeing a trailer or a commercial or whatever for the first time or an ad or whatever for it. You're like, ooh, this looks like it could be cool. It's like pretty crazy and blah blah. Oh, Neil Gaiman. Okay, well, yeah, that tracks. Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so
I
much
would
mis-
recommend, though, if you ever have the time, definitely check out Terry Pratchett and Michael Moorcock. Both of them are really dope. Michael Moorcock, I think,
Tell
did
what
a
you.
bunch of stuff with like Dungeons and Dragons and like some of the story
Yes.
writing for
Okay.
that.
All right. Here, let me see. Michael.
M
I
O
need to
O
be.
R M O O
Mhm.
R C O C
Yeah.
K.
Gotcha. Oh, his is it Greyhawk? His setting is that?
He's
I'm
got
trying
he's
to figure
got
out.
he's got so many books. He's
He's
got
got a
like fucking
multiverse. Yeah, he's
yeah
got a whole
yeah
thing. Like
yeah
he's like a, it's like your Stephen King,
yeah.
the Stephen King universe. It's like all these stories happening in the same place,
He's
and people are
definitely
like,
got
oh, how do you do that?
he's got recurring themes. His like recurring theme is the Eternal Champion, and it's
Oh,
like
okay, okay.
Alric and like fucking Dorian Hawkmoon and shit like that, and all these like just
Oh
bad.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but yeah,
Yeah, man.
those are definitely really fun
Pioneers.
reads.
That's cool.
Yeah,
And is it like, so that's the thing. Certain fantasy and sci-fi writers, they get really, their language gets really chewy, right? It gets really like, it takes so much mouth work to get to
yeah,
get through it.
yeah.
But even if you're reading it, you feel like these like either it's names or it's just like titles. Like Lord of the Rings. Was it Lord of the Rings that got me with the like titles that were like just super long running, like Tolkien, just like so and so of blah 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 of the land of something
Yeah,
dear, blah, blah. And I constantly get like, so my last name is Aragon, and people
yeah.
make the association of Aragorn,
Right, right.
and it's either that or like way too much history about my last name way more than I do. Usually is what I encounter as the other, like not polar opposite, but the other thing that happens.
Yeah,
Um, but like the titles they get very run-on sentency, right? They like
yeah,
get super just redundant. But the playfulness and how some of that stuff is written, because it doesn't always feel like it in the stories or in the beats of the story or in the plot,
hmm
but it always feels like a children's book, like a bedtime story to a degree. But it's just the most fucking epic, like sometimes tedious, but sometimes just epic fucking shit with like Tolkien especially. But that's my jam, man. Like something that feels, there's always got to be a light heart in it to a degree,
yeah. Um,
Um, there was one that I was reading. Man, I'm drawing so many blanks here with these authors. But I'm not a good reader. I'm a collector of books. I'm one of those people who
yeah,
buys books with the intention of reading them and then never really commits the time. And I collect things, and it's just
yeah. That's easy. That's easy to have happen,
yeah,
man. I definitely own more books than
for
I've
sure.
read, for sure.
Hmm.
Or I guess not now. I only have like fucking two
Well,
books
yeah,
with me,
yeah, but
uh,
that's different.
I have two
Sci-fi
copies of
anthologies. Help me with
Haruki
that.
Murakami book that are all untied that I can't read any of.
Oh yeah, they're all in ties, so you can't read them.
Yeah.
Is it motivating to? Are you hoping that it'll motivate you to learn to read it, or is it just to have? Is it like a
I
collectible
bought it with the
thing?
intention of like practicing to read with it, but I bought
Nice,
a book
nice.
that was like I bought two books that were like too hard. I should have bought like children's books or some shit, you know.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
Like no
to get
fucking first
established with it.
grader learns to read by like reading like I don't fucking know like a Dostoevsky book or some shit like that, you know.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like a good starting point,
Yeah.
especially for someone who's teaching English. I'm obviously that's not something you'd recommend
Yeah.
out of the gate to
Yeah,
somebody
I
new.
think I would just like went in and picked a random book. I should have just I wasn't thinking about really what I was doing. I was like, I'll just buy a random book because my idea was like I'll just fucking take pictures of the words and use Google Translate to figure out what they mean, and then just like write
Right?
them all down. But
Exactly.
yeah, but I've had different ways of practicing the language recently, so I've been trying to get my practice in, and I'll go back. The bookstore guy fucking took a picture of me because he liked my swag, and he wrote a real
Nice,
nice. He
man.
wrote a real nice post about me on his Facebook that I saw.
No way. He was like, I encountered a unique person. I have to talk
Exactly,
about
dude.
them.
That's exactly what I was. That's exactly what it was like. It was fucking awesome. It was on New Year's. I was his first customer of the year, so he was all hyped about it.
Oh, dude, that feels important because it feels not necessarily fated, but you know what I'm saying. Like it feels relevant because of
Yeah, he was
being.
fucking so excited, dude. It was dope.
Yeah, I'm sending you a link to I hate that it's Amazon, but it's the easiest way to find it. Because I mean, let's face it, it's a bookstore, but it's this
Yeah.
book called Mixed Realities, and it's an anthology of 7 stories that will make you question the universe, and it's Naomi Augustine, and I believe she's got a hyphenate name now, and I don't know I can't remember.
And this is your
what
friend?
that is. I apologize, but this is a friend of mine. I worked with her for a little over a year, I think, at a
Nice.
game studio, but she was already a mathematician. She was already, I believe, God, I don't know her credentials off the top of my head. They're in the book for the sake of
Yeah.
posterity and
Yeah.
clarity and stuff. But just this world that she paints with words is simultaneously terrifying because it forces you to confront the reality of like, well, we can't just make this problem in the world go away, but we can try to mitigate it, lessen it, stop making it worse.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
I don't know.
and there's
I
a lot
think
of situations.
I think they
where
should make plastic illegal, and
it should be for what was essential, and putting it in everything that we consume, like literally physically consume and eat, is insane to me. And like microplastics are just
yeah.
wreaking havoc on us. And it sounds like a conspiracy theory from the 90s, but it's been seen as true and proven and scientifically backed up, and it's
Yeah,
just
I
getting
mean,
worse because they're
I
finding
want
it
to
more and
keep all
more.
the animals on Earth and shit like that. I think animals are cool. Honestly, if anything, I feel like humans have run their course, and I'm ready for another species to take over.
And I wish it was that simple, you know? Like I wish we could just call in the backup and be like, "All right, somebody take the scissors away from the baby because
Yeah,
someone's going to get hurt and it's already getting bad and there's a lot of damage going on. Things are things are getting destroyed.
yeah.
We really got to stop this." And it's
Well, I'm still trying to stay alive if other animals take over, though. I'll tell you that. You know,
well,
I ain't ready to
I
give
mean,
up the reins just yet, but you
and
know,
that's the thing. I feel like it would be so much. It would be so relieving if someone were to just like I was saying, if space and time, and space and the universe and everything lined up, and someone could just step in and be like, "Look, I'm taking away your bad toys, dude. Yeah, okay. Okay, mixed media. What is this, all crayon or is this colored pencil now? Because
no,
you're
this
getting
is
this
all
like
crayon.
vibrancy."
This is all crayon.
Dude, what are you using? What are these crayons, man? Is this a classic? This is non-Crayola, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
stuff.
I
This
got it
is
in Thailand. It's actually a mix. There's some Crayola that I've been using, but
like some of the classic stuff. Yeah.
I live right by an arts and crafts store, so I bought some crayons there
Nice.
the other day.
You can't trust me in a place like that, though, man.
Oh, it's
I walk
dangerous,
out
man.
broke.
It's so fun, dude, and everything's so fucking cheap. So it's like I'm like
I
definitely.
might, I might have to hit you up and be like, let's take it. Like, please, will you do a mini video tour for me? It doesn't have to be like live or anything, but I would love to see some videos of just walking through and be like, check this place out. Like,
Yeah,
what's the coolest stuff they have? What's the oddball stuff that you haven't seen or don't know what it is? Even like that would be great.
yeah,
Fun to just see what materials are there. You know, it's a
yeah,
different.
yeah.
That's
I could
fascinating to me.
probably
It might be a little too niche.
what I'll probably do is because I'm a shy person and I wouldn't want to be talking in a public place. What I will probably do, that sounds fun. I should do that, and I'll just make
Even just
I'll just overdub it. Like
yeah,
I'll film it and then I'll just do a dub over and explain what I'm
put a
looking
song over it.
at. Yeah, exactly.
Give us a beat.
Make a
You
music
know,
video. Yeah, man, I'm real. I need to get back into making music regularly. It's I guess now that I'm on
I
summer
feel
break,
you.
it'll be easier. But
Hey man, you went from so like there are certain people you've got a backlog, or of well not a backlog, you've got a discography, man.
yeah,
That's beyond admirable. I have a handful of little half-finished things that I've recorded that are not really fully fleshed out songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's experimentation. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
For me, it's minimal, and I play guitar, but I'm not like virtuosic in any way. I treat it as like it's a medium that I'm experimenting with because I'm not an expert in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I treat it as like what weird stuff can I layer into this, or effects can I run through this to make it do something different, because I have to compensate. Something has to be my crutch, because I sure as hell can't like shred. I'm not like a virtuoso. But man, you've got a lot of stuff, and like there are very few artists that have the ability, even for any period of time, to have that kind of output, and I admire that because it's a lot of creative energy, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Have you
know.
heard of Buckethead by chance? There's this
Do I listen to
guitar player,
Buckethead? Fuck yeah, I listen to Buckethead, dude.
Okay.
I love
Dude.
Buckethead.
Oh right, thank you. Buckethead's fucking catalog is insane. It never ends. It's just
he's probably got over
4 albums a year.
He's probably got over a couple, like 400 by now.
I go on Spotify and I scroll and I'm like, I haven't heard any of this stuff.
They don't even have all of them. They don't have my favorite one. They don't have.
Is it Welcome to Buckethead Land? Is it the first one?
I think they have that one. My
Okay.
favorite album is Population Override. It's like his like prog rock album.
They don't. That's not on there. No way.
I'm pretty
You
sure
gotta be kidding
I'm
me.
pretty sure they don't have that on Spotify, and I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. Population Override.
Yep, you're right. Dang. Wow. Okay. They have. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I love this
Dang.
album.
Mind blowing. That's a great one. I guess I'm gonna have to don't take this the wrong way, but I'll sail the 7 seas, and now I'm gonna have to listen to it because you mentioned it. Now I have to go listen to it again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's great. Man, but like his catalog, his output, it's not like I say output, but I mean like how much art can you create? How much can you create in general, whether it's music or visual or written or
I don't
whatever
know. I
else,
mean, I
man.
feel like
Crazy.
it's as long as you're willing to keep growing and like trying new things, you could probably create like an endless amount of stuff. Like, who's your favorite of the masters of painting or art? Would you say you? Were...
Oh, like the classical masters?
Or just like it could be like Picasso or something too, or like any.
Oh,
any
like
artist,
modern
really.
masters.
Yeah.
So like so there's a lot, but there's an artist called Lichtenstein, and I can't remember if it's Roy or Ray. My brain,
Yeah.
but he does these big, like pop art.
Yeah.
It's pop art. It's big, blown up, old school comic strips that he hand painted with like he used like house paint, like enamel paint and stuff like that. So he has all these like very odd colors because it's all these subdued colors that it gives it this. I mean, it is vintage. It defines an aspect of vintage now, but it's like there's this one oh god, it's all like comic book panels, like old school, like, and a lot of it's taken from like these romance comics, or these like there's classic like this woman like with like a speech bubble, she's got blonde hair, but it's like big bold like black line work and like bold yellows and reds and blues like all the time. Yeah.
Nice. I'll have to look him up. He sounds dope. Rory Lichtenstein or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's like Liechtenstein.
Like the country?
I believe so.
Roy Lichtenstein. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he looks like a swell guy. A pop artist. New art movement.
I don't know how he is as a human being. I haven't looked too much into his biography.
You ever watch any Ralph Bakshi movies?
No. Who's that?
He's like an animator. You'd probably like his stuff. Let's see, what fucking movies did he do? Like Fritz the Cat and Wizards, and I think he did the original
Wizards,
Hobbit.
man.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, and the original Hobbit. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Wizards is a dope ass movie.
Hey, man, I hate to be abrupt, but it is late night and my kid has woken up, so I have to do the dad thing now.
Yeah.
So I hate to cut us off.
No, all good.
I gotta put.
Yeah.
But thanks, man. It's
Yeah.
been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Hopefully we'll get to do something like this again, but
Yeah, you're always
All right,
welcome. Ciao
thank
for
you.
now, man. Have a
It
good
was
night. Peace.
great talking to you.
Yep, likewise.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so that was Dan Aragorn. I almost said Aragorn, like from Lord of the Rings, but that's just how it be. So yeah, fucking badass artist, game developer. Oh yeah, just another day in the life. So as always, if you want to be on the Young Chuck podcast, Epic Swag Fun Time, you're always welcome. Um, so I would say on a scale of 1 to cheese, um, I'm at a Gouda. So shouts out to Gouda cheese. And I'm probably, holy shit, I think the stream's been going for 2 hours. Damn. So that's a lot of interview content. I'm probably going to get some breakfast because eating food is important. I got to figure out this chat situation here. And so I can know what's going on in the live chat. So definitely got to do some formatting things. Maybe I'll just keep it like that. So tell me if you have any ideas as to what I should do with my live stream chat. I wonder if I can change the format. Anyways, thank you for coming. And I hope everyone